Welcome back to the podcast. Today is Tuesday, January the 6th. We're back for the podcast.
We're back, sir. We got...
Should I start saying the year?
No, does it really matter? I get, like, yes, it's the first podcast of the year of 2026. But outside of that, what does it matter?
I don't know. We've been doing this, 3 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
I feel like I should start saying the year.
We're getting close to 300 episodes, too.
I know, it's crazy.
We're like, what were they, 88 last
I feel
one?
like I should start saying the year.
I guess, like, if you...
I guess...
Again, that part is yours. So if you really want to add it in, you can.
I know, I guess... like, an old episode popped up on my YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And I was listening to it. So I probably was like 18, 19.
Yeah.
I was listening to it. I was like, damn. I sound like a toddler. And I was thinking, I don't like the sound of my own voice.
I don't either. I absolutely hate it.
When
I come through, when I listen to myself talk, I feel like I come through a lot very nasally.
I agree.
And I don't feel like I'm that nasally when I talk.
I don't either.
But it's just on the microphone, it just sounds different.
Said that now I like feel the vibration in my nose from me talking, and I'm like, maybe I am that nasally.
I just don't think I'm that nasally in real life.
I don't either, dude. But like,
I come through a lot higher pitch too.
I was listening to it, and like I started just like click through like the episodes.
Yeah.
Like just hearing the first couple seconds, and I'm like, damn, my intro has sounded the same for 3 years.
Yeah.
It'll be my intro, random one where you're doing it, my intro. And I'm like, damn, it just sounds the same.
I'm trying to change it up a bit. That's fine. Again, if that's what you want to do, that's more than that's fine to do so just by adding the year, or if you want to do something else.
I don't know. It's just always been, hey, welcome back to the James podcast. Today is whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, maybe I should just say it different. I think there's one podcast I distinctly remember where I did the intro different.
Yeah.
And then we didn't go with that one, and I made you redo it, and I did it like normal.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, man. However does it. Again, consistency is key. So,
well, I know.
So if you want to make a change. We're probably what's to define something we'll stick with. Is the question.
The problem is I would sit here before a pod like for an hour going through all the ones I've written down to like figure out if this is what I'm going with or not.
Right. Yeah.
And then like I'd have to do it for a couple podcasts to see if it sticks or not. And then if it don't stick, you'll have a weird gap of like 10 podcasts where the intro's different. And then it just, hey, welcome back to James Podcast again. It just, the intro becomes the same.
Sounds like we had doppelgangers for like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, and I'm like, that'd be weird. You have like a fucking month of 8 episodes.
Right.
Just for the intro to go back to the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I get what you're saying.
I don't know. I just feel like, I should change the intro. Maybe it's just too simple. But I think of like other podcasts, and a lot of them don't have like a standard intro. They just start, hey, and start talking.
Yeah, no.
And then a lot of other some other podcasts just have like the, hey, welcome back to episode blah blah blah.
Yeah,
this is episode blah blah blah. Or they'll say, hey, welcome back. It's date episode.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I like that approach. Because you have to think about it as if not everybody that's ever going to listen to your pod is going to be listening to it for a while. Like there's going to be some person's first time listening to that podcast. So having it be like hey, this is an episodic thing. Like you're listening to one experience when you come in and listen. I like the idea of that because not everybody's going to stick around forever.
True. And I guess it's something I've just thought of recently of, damn, maybe I should change my intro. Maybe I should change how it's said. I don't know, we've gone on 3 years on the same shit. Same intro, and I'm like, maybe I should change it. Maybe it should be something different.
Maybe I can get a new song too. I'm using the same intro song for a year or two now. Yeah. It's like the little hip hoppy, again, you probably never listened to that song, you'd probably just skip through that. Again, it's been rolled for like a minute and a half there at the beginning, but it's like a hip hoppy type of. Again, I don't think you can go with much. How are we going to change the song? Like go to like some country song or something?
That'd be funny.
It would be funny. Do that for like 2 episodes
and then never do it again. That'd be funny.
That would be hilarious if we did that, but I don't think I would want to go that route. Because again, getting music for this stuff is a lot harder. It has to be royalty free, so a little bit harder to find royalty free music out there nowadays.
It is very hard.
So,
and then like you'll think you found something that's royalty free and it's not.
Then you get hit with it. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
I don't know. was just thinking about it. I do know the intro, the hip hop intro. I remember when you were setting that shit up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is fire. And it is still fire. It's nice
works.
to have. The only recommendation I would do is maybe shorten it.
Again, it's only for like a minute.
That's a long minute, bro. But you've always done it to where it fades.
Yeah.
As I start talking, and it just fades out. And then
I let it roll. I let it roll as it comes through, and then we have her, because usually we never really get straight to the point. It's always, again, we've been going on for 5 minutes now about maybe changing the intro, so it's not as if we're like ever like getting to the point and the music's still going. So usually it'll go, we're talking shit and like doing other things, and then by the time we get to business, the music's gone now.
I like that, because again, you're right. We're never straight on the point when we first start podcasts. And it's always because I have something to talk about when we first start.
It's awkward. I think it's kind of awkward to go into and be like, hey, welcome back to the podcast. Football.
It makes it mundane.
Like, yeah.
And you're right. It's an episodic thing, but every episode's a little different.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's what makes it easier. You can't just start. But again,
it's just awkward. You don't start a conversation that way with anybody that you like talk sports with.
And it makes even if we're not on pod and we're talking sports, we'll both go on 5 other tangents. Yeah,
there's tangents. That's how normal conversations work.
Yeah, that's what makes it flows better.
Yeah, no questions asked.
Now, it does. One of the aspects of that is that we are siblings, so it's a lot easier to talk to each other than anybody else.
True. I was talking to the guy at the gym, the guy that now is going to a different gym, so we exchange phone numbers. And we're like this. We talk to Steelers every single time we see each other. And then he didn't. Again, it's funny enough how he does it. Every time the team either does well or does bad, if they're doing well, I go ghost, and I don't see him for a week or two, and then he's like looking for me, waiting to talk great about how the Steelers are doing, and then next thing you know, the last 2 weeks before this past week, I hadn't seen him in weeks, and then now after we beat the Ravens and now going to the playoffs, I then see him yesterday at the gym, and it's just funny how that kind of works out. But like, it's gym. Again, I don't talk to nobody else anyway, but it's like I see him, we talk about the Steelers. I didn't know this dude's fucking name until we exchanged numbers.
Real quick.
And he sent me his name. It was awkward.
I think about guys, we don't need to know your name. We're just friends now.
It does make it a little awkward when you're exchanging phone numbers. Nah. He asked for my Instagram, and I'm like, man, we'll just get the phone numbers. Like, we're just going to be talking Steelers anyway. What does it fucking matter if it's an Instagram or not? So I was like, hey, let's get your number. I get his number. He sends me his name, and I don't even clock the fact that it's his name because he sends a Steelers gift right after that. And I just put in like Jim Steelers positive guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's his name that he sent me. That I didn't even clock. Let me get you this name. Hold on. Let me make sure this is a name this is a normal name by any means, right? Hold on. It's Elwop Hall. ELWOPP. No. If he is, he's very Americanized. Like there's like his dreads. It's like he's
not even close.
Huh?
You said dreads. No.
Yeah. Nope. I don't think so. I never asked. We just talk about the Steelers. The only reason I ever started the conversation because he saw me with the Steelers shirt on, because that's like one of my favorite workout shirts that I have, and we just started talking about it one day. We just been talking on and off when we see each other at the gym. So. But again, I didn't know the guy's name until just yesterday, and it's a whole thing. So, but again, having a conversation between you and I, we can go on tangents and talk about other things because again, we know each other so well. So, like the other shit is not all that hard to kind of get to and then get out of whenever we want to like have a different conversation or not. So, but yeah, that's it. It's us. It is, man. And again, anybody that's jumping into this podcast for the first time is like, what the hell are these two dudes talking about? I thought this was a sports podcast.
Tangents, man.
That's what you're here for. That's what we're here for. That's what makes this so much fun. So, first question I have to ask you, because we don't have a lot of college football to talk about, because it's the games that are happening this week are the semifinals of the college football playoff. Pretty much all the rest of the bowl games are done. That's all finished, and there's 2 games left. But one thing that's been dominating everything is the portal, right? There's been the number 1 quarterback in the portal that has went from Cincinnati to Texas Tech is where he has committed himself to. Would you like to guess how much money they gave him to go?
$7 million.
5, which is like dumb high for a quarterback. Okay. Would you like me to tell you where, if somebody were to get drafted, what draft slot would you have to be at to get $5 million? Let's just say it's a signing bonus, because as a salary, it's pretty big. But as a signing bonus, what would you think you'd have to get? What would you think you'd drafted at to get $5 million? Cash.
I think of like Joe Burrow. He got like 13.
13 at signing, but he actually got like $32 million. He was number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, but his bonus was crazy.
Right.
Like in the teens.
Like right around pick 11 is where you'd get picked get that same amount of money if you're getting picked in the draft. And this dude is getting paid $5 million to go play for 1 season. It's his last season in college football. He's getting paid for 1 year, $5 million to go play football at Texas Tech. Again, they have oil money. Like, they have a real big B billionaire behind them. Again, I talk about how much money Ohio State has. We don't have big B billionaires behind us like Oregon, schools. The Texas schools.
Oregon has Nike behind them.
Well, yeah, for sure. But again, that's a big
like
B.
A&M that's big B oil money.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech is what makes them different in this whole thing is that they don't do a lot of high school recruiting, and even if they do, they're spending a lot of money. But they're a school trying to get kind of claw their way into relevance. Again, they got to the playoff this year. They lost in the first round, but like how they need to do so is like, hey, we don't have the history of sending dudes to the NFL like a lot of other schools do. But guess what? We're going to pay you a lot of money to come play here for a year or two, and then that's how this is going to get done. It doesn't help that they are literally buying starters for the next year, right? In comparison, like think places like Ohio State and Georgia, where those places would like to have most of their guys that are going to be starting for them in any given year is a guy that has already been there in their program for multiple years that they got out of high school, and then they'll supplement guys with the portal here or there. Places like Indiana, who has spent a lot of good money getting people in, we'll talk about that in a minute. And then Texas Tech, they're like, hey, we're just going to go ahead and just buy a new starter for next year and not have to worry about any of that. They're not trying to worry about doing a culture. Like, again, they do high school recruiting, but it's just not their number one thing that they do. They're like, hey, we'll be more than happy to overpay for a player if we think they're going to fit for us next on a yearly basis. And it is what it is. But $5 million is crazy. Like, the only guy like Ohio State's roster making $5 million is Jeremiah.
I got a question for you.
$5, $6, $7 million, hopefully. Again, if he goes in the portal, I might want to off myself. But that hasn't happened as of yet. I don't think Ohio State will let it happen. But like that's the only guy that's making that much money on the Ohio State roster. Mm-hmm. What's the question?
$100 million.
Okay.
But for a year, you get dropped into the random part of the ocean for 30 seconds.
But for a year, you're doing whatever you want, and then you get dropped in the random part of the ocean.
Once a day. Yeah.
Once a day?
Once a day for 365 days. At a time, you can set the time. But you are dropped into a random part of the ocean.
Do you have to get out, or you just drop?
30 seconds.
You just drop, and then you have to be ready to get transported there and then get transported back.
Yes, you can bring nothing with you, though.
Yeah, but I would guess. But again, what happens if you're a shark right there? Then that's a problem. If
you won't be any deeper than 10 meters.
Oh, so you're saying it won't be in water that deep?
Yeah. No. The water will be deep. You won't be below the surface more than 10 meters.
So I can just get teleported in the middle of the freaking ocean without any air?
Hold your breath. You know the time you're being teleported.
No. Literally, the first time you get teleported, you could literally be in water as you're mid-sentence just to taking a breath. Next thing you know, you're breathing water.
Again,
like you're screwed.
The time, you set the time. The only problem is that time is different around the world. So suddenly, I'm off the coast of Japan, and it's fucking dark.
Give me the button. I'll just press that.
Cap.
If you had to make me choose, I just take the button.
Cap. To kill a person?
That's torture.
To kill a person.
What you're talking about is torture.
What I'm talking about.
To myself.
See, it's when I was cool because it was a video, right? Until they said up to 10 meters below the surface.
Yeah, no. If you're just getting right on the top where you can just just sit there and skim the ocean for 30 seconds, that's fine. But once you're talking about you just get teleported in the middle of the ocean, right, down deep in the water,
part of the ocean.
No,
my brain was like, I can hold my breath for 30 seconds. I don't want to be underwater for 30 seconds. I can't see underwater, so my eyes would have to be closed. That's worse.
That's panic.
That's panic. I'm panicking.
Straight panic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm straight on that.
All right. One more question.
Okay.
Would you rather be married to an OnlyFans model? Or be the child of an OnlyFans model?
I'll take married.
Right?
I'll take married. Yeah.
Right? I'm not tripping about that.
Yeah. I'd take married.
I don't want to be a kid. That's going to be
again, I'm not
hell of a school life. This your mom? Nah.
I would take married because first off, I'm not the crazy. I'm not
but you can't divorce her.
Yeah, that's fine. There's a lot of OnlyFans models out there that don't do anything. They're just showing pictures and men are just stupid enough to buy it. I don't understand.
That's so crazy.
These dudes are stupid. I'm just sitting there come on. I get it. You want to feel like you have some type of you're contributing to somebody's life or something. That's where some people get their rocks off, is by saying, "Hey, I'm just going to pay for your lifestyle, and that's going to help me." I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? You get nothing out of the deal. You're just giving them money. No,
it's crazy, bro. If you want to give somebody $15, I'll take it.
Right. There's people doing a lot crazier things out here. Yeah. Then no.
Sorry, I just had to ask because I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, "Damn, could I?" Dude, if one of the biggest comments was if it was just I'm at the surface for 30 seconds,
that's fine.
I could swing that. But you're saying 10 meters is not. That's
you got to swim up. You got to yeah, no thanks.
That's 32 feet underwater.
No thanks.
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep water.
So,
sorry.
Back to the portal, right? Would you like to know how much of college football of Division I players, what is the amount of college football players that are currently in the portal right now?
163
percentage, my boy.
38%.
Division I football players in the portal. So roughly around 30 to 33% is what players are currently in the portal. In the NFL, it's about 50% of what players go on, on a yearly basis that go on to free agency and all of that. Is this a good model? I just think, I don't know how you're going to have 30% of all of Division I college football players in the portal. As of right now, it's over 3,000 players that are currently in the portal. All for different reasons.
Real quick, that gives some cadence to how many players are in college football. Because 3,000 would be almost the entire NFL.
Yeah, that's no question. So, the fact that there's that many players in the portal going in for different reasons. Some are looking for playing time. Some are looking for the bag. And by the way, like I told you earlier, the salary cap that's supposed to be in college football right now is $20 million. Based off the rules that were given. They said that for the stipend that schools are allowed to pay players, they're allowed to pay up to a total of around $20 million to their players on a yearly basis. And it was publicized that quarterback that's going to Texas Tech is getting $5 million in cash. So the idea, so that salary cap doesn't mean shit. That's the part that makes me upset about this whole thing, is because when they say there's supposed to be rules coming and they say there's supposed to be a $20 million cap and they say this is how this team's supposed to get this done, but that doesn't cover a billionaire coming in saying, I'm going to sign this player and give him $5 million. and hope that that'll be what his NIL deal is. But the thing is that is not priced fairly. That's not real life. That's funny money. And the idea that what do you think there's actually a player that truly has a worth of $5 million on the open market right now? Let's just say college football didn't exist. Well, it does exist, but every player got dropped from college football right now. And literally companies just go sign that player and give them money to help out their company just as a endorsement, right? How many players do you actually think is worth $5 million out there? A total of 4 or 5? Arch based off the Manning name, unfortunately. Jeremiah. What else you got? Maybe Mendoza because he just won the Heisman and all of that for Indiana.
I'd say all the Heisman candidates probably are.
Julian ain't worth no $5 million right now.
I don't know. To a team that would need a quarterback that's going to be there for at least another year, 2 years. Yeah, he is.
As a 1 year thing for a 1 year basis, we're just going to give you $5 million.
1 year, there's fucking nobody. Jeremiah Smith's the only one I can think of. But again,
so I'm sitting there this is funny money, and this I just don't like the idea that this is just, and this is what gets into players' heads is saying, hey, because I'm thinking about it this way for me as an Ohio State fan, and I had 2 cornerbacks leave our cornerback room, and both of them reasonably had a situation where with the guys leaving. And the fact we don't have other guys coming in as of right now through the portal is that one or both of y'all really were in line to start, which makes me think either they didn't get the automatic go ahead as if you're going to be the starter going into next year, or you wanted to get paid like a starter, and Ohio State looked at them and said, hey, we're not willing to pay you the money that you're looking for here just because you're in line to be the starter going into next season. So the idea that these players are going out thinking hey, I'm just going to get paid a big bag from somebody off the chance of they want to get a great player out of me, and it may or may not work out. I just don't think this is going to be a way for college football to work out long term, because at the end of the day, other than these billionaires that literally have this money to waste, this is nickels to them. Other than those guys, I don't know how you can go to a millionaire and just say, hey, give me a couple $1 million every single year for these new players that may or may not work out for this team. That's the part that makes me okay, this is all just stupid. But I don't know. The portal sucks just because it's just you feel like some players are going to be on this certain path to be at your school for a certain amount of years, and then once they get their opportunity, they'll be ready to go and be ready, and they'll be developed and all of that. But players aren't willing to wait around that long, which I get to a certain extent. But I also think some of these players have no reason to truly want to leave other than the fact that there is a team that called them in the middle of the year saying, hey, if you decide to want to leave, we'll give you a big bag to go. And that's the part that makes me a little bit ticked off about it. You heard about Marsh, right? No, I said Andrew Marsh. It's Nick Marsh. He's going to Indiana.
Okay.
And you said, I asked you when you were moving, you said a couple places that you wouldn't want him to go. And I think you said Ohio State. You Michigan. Said Bama. And you said Michigan. Indiana ain't bad. Would you be willing to be happy for him if he were to go and succeed?
Happy for him because look at what fucking trash nigga Keon Coleman did when he left Michigan State.
He went to Florida State, balled out for a year, and then got picked as a second-round pick.
And is still just as ass as he was.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He was dog shit. I said it to you before he got drafted. He's dog shit. Yeah. He's not good.
He can't even stay as a starter with the Bills right now.
There's a reason why Jaden Reed got drafted and is still producing in the NFL.
We're not injured. Really big injury problem, but
true. But he's good when he's playing.
That's all the Packers receivers. All of them are injured all the time.
But again, all of them are super fucking talented.
Yeah, for sure.
Consistent player. Nick Marsh is a freak of nature.
He is.
He is large. He is fast. He has everything to be Calvin Johnson. He's just not Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, for sure.
Simple as that. Calvin Johnson was succeeding at Georgia Tech.
True. Yes.
Give that man his credit.
Yeah.
But again, good for him. I want him to be at a better school. You stayed with Michigan State for 2 years. They gave you 2 shitty years of Aiden Childs where you balled out 1 year.
You know where Aiden Childs potentially might go?
Who cares?
He was visiting Northwestern.
Good for you. I can't wait to see you get fucking benched.
But question, though. If he goes to Northwestern and balls out and, like, actually plays very well, will that make you more upset about the whole situation? The fact they can't, like, if he goes at, like, because again, he'll have Chip Kelly as his OC. Like, Northwestern's getting some real coaches and they're getting some real players.
Again, I think we had a bad coach.
Oh, obviously, Jonathan Smith was terrible.
He was a bad coach.
It didn't work. Again, I for whatever reason, I was a very positive. I was one of the Jonathan Smith apologists. And then he goes there, does absolutely nothing, has a losing record both years.
Again,
it's not good.
Don't fully understand what we're going for. What's our newest coach? What does he do? What is he?
Pat Fitzgerald.
Yeah, what's he good at?
Defense, culture guy. Okay, toughness.
We have brought in 2 guys who are recruiters. They're big recruiters. Mel Tucker was a big recruiter.
This guy's not much of a recruiter.
And that's fine.
He's more a developer, I will say.
Well, that's the thing. We were at our best when he was able to bring in players that were maybe cut from bigger schools.
Yeah.
Or weren't good enough to cut it at a bigger school.
They were overlooked because they in their state, the bigger schools kind of looked over them because they weren't good enough. Or
that's when we were at our best. Or
right.
we were taking these guys from the Ohio State to Michigan of your 3rd or 4th guy on the roster.
Yeah.
And you're just not really going to – there's never a spot for you because you're not as talented as guys ahead of you.
Right.
A guy that probably would have went to our school 10 years ago, Brandon Innes. That nigga was never good enough to play.
He was a 5-star wide receiver coming out of high school. I'm just telling you. Whether you
he was a nobody on the field. 7 motherfuckers had more yards than him.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with those things. I'm not. But what I'm saying is that he was a 5-star wide receiver coming out of high school. I'm just saying. I just wanted to put that fact out there. And again, I do think Ohio State, to a certain degree, was so focused on using tight ends that I think Brandon Innes took a little bit of a turn. Even though he wasn't nearly as explosive of an athlete as I would have thought he would have been. But when he got his chance to make plays, he made plays. But he just, again, it didn't make plays enough. It was what it was. Again, the fact that he hasn't transferred as of yet, I'm very encouraged by that. Because, again, that makes me think he's locked into the culture of Ohio State.
Does he only have slightly more receiving yards than your running back?
He got left out of the offense a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. Again, I just think that the dream was for him to be a really good slot receiver that would work with Julian Sayin. The fact of the matter is that we had 2 better receivers on the outside, that Julian Sayin got attached to quite quickly, and they pretty much said, hey, we're just going to keep throwing to Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith all fucking year long.
And a tight end that did everything else.
Max Clare, yeah, for sure. Even he had a slow year, but as the season went along, he got more and more involved in the offense. Yeah, for sure. And again, he might come back. They're saying you'd only be at Ohio State for 1 year. He might come back for a 4th year. So
there was dudes below Brennan Innes. What's one? Let me see if I can get it. McKaylan?
Huh?
Mylan.
Mylan?
Mylan. Graham?
He was barely used.
He was, but he was more explosive.
Yeah, but he's transferring somewhere.
Good for him.
Again, it was like, here's the thing about the Brian Hartline with how he had his room. He had such a high bar for anybody starting. He wasn't just going to like cycle dudes through just to get you snaps. So now, again,
the best will play. Simple as that.
The best will play, no questions asked, which works to a certain extent. But now with the portal and all of that, and now that Brian Hartline's now leaving, the idea that he kept some dudes, Mylan Graham wasn't getting starting time. We had a white dude named Adolph going out there and starting a game like last season over Mylan Graham because they didn't think they couldn't trust him for whatever reason. Whatever reason Brian Hartline had, for sure, I'll believe in that because Brian Hartline's earned my trust when it comes to that.
David Adolph.
So, like, the idea that the guy like that didn't get playing time is an issue.
Back and we'd be like, maybe we should change this.
Apparently not. Again, a very, very, it's a very potentially salacious name to have, for sure.
Potentially.
But yeah, so like that, like the fact that Malen Graham didn't get the playing time and now he wants to go to the portal, like that makes total sense. That's the thing when you get these players that now they have the fact they have an option, they have an out, is that it really does. You do have to give them a bone a little bit and say, hey, there is an avenue for you to become a starter here. You can't just lock them out and just say, hey, just sit here on the bench and be nice for a couple years, and eventually you'll grow into the starter that we can rely on you. Like, you have to give them an answer a lot sooner. You have to give them an opportunity to really show that they have an opportunity, like, to really grow into that player and take a role at some point. And that's where I think the portal, I think, is speeding up the process of what getting onto the field is like. Not to mention, I think freaking Jeremiah Smith broke the mold of literally the whole thing was you get to Ohio State, you wait a year, and then you get your opportunity to go out there and be a starter and play. Marvin Harrison, as great as he was, you didn't hear a fucking peep out of him until the bowl game where he's alongside Jackson Smith and Jigba in that Rose Bowl game. He gets a couple touchdowns, and that's when he has a coming out party. You didn't hear from him at all in his freshman year, and then he comes out in his sophomore year and he's crazy. Malen Graham, the guy you just talked about, he was in the same class as Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah plays right away. He's been on a rocket ship ever since. Yes, he was. And then Malen Graham doesn't see the field at all. I can't help but if I'm Malen Graham, I'm like, I was a 5-star wide receiver too. Why am I not getting anywhere close to the playing time as Jeremiah?
He has some type of problem.
He doesn't have ball skills. From what I've read, from what people have said about him, he doesn't have great ball skills. He's very quick, but when it comes to like catching the football and being consistent that way, not very consistent. Again, this is talking about the Brian Hart line. Like, you have to be the best at everything if you're going to be out there on the football field.
Almost perfect, if not perfect.
Right. Or you have to be you have to fit a specific role, because why would I try to get you out there if I'm taking Jeremiah Smith or Cardinal Tate off the field? You better be just as good as them if I'm going to take one of those two guys off the field to get you out there.
Or Brandon is trash ass.
Do you know what Brandon Ennis really got him playing time?
You didn't have anybody else.
He blocked the fuck out of everybody he saw.
Real quick, I will give that man that. He was throwing blocks.
He would block. He would do all the dirty work. He's literally like the white point guard on a basketball team.
The only other receiver I know that would block like that is Emeka Ibuka. Emeka Ibuka is about to throw the hardest block, and it's going to be effective. I will give him that.
That's what kept him on the field.
That man was throwing a block. It's doing the intangibles. The shit that no receiver really does, doing them.
He was wanting to do so.
I'll give you that.
That's what kept him on the field, for sure, because like you said, otherwise he wasn't all that effective on the football field. They didn't throw him the football a lot, but when he did catch the football, he was making plays. But it's just he was willing to do the dirty work that a guy like Jeremiah wasn't necessarily there to do, because, you know, he's there to be the Maserati of a football player going out there as a wide receiver, and Cardinal Tate as well. So, yeah, that's just the transfer portal is a mess. The fact that it's happening all right now, heck, as an Ohio State fan, I'm sitting here waiting on bated breath for all the players that I would hope and dream to be a Buckeye. Is like, you know, one of those things that it just takes away from the whole thing a little bit of like, hey, I want to follow them as high schoolers. They get to your team, grow into the players you want them to grow into, and then play great, and then they go on to the NFL. That whole process is being cut up a little bit. And that's the part that sucks about it. But, you know, it is a fun time, if not a little bit annoying. So, I don't have that much more to talk about when it comes to the portal. I just made a decision. Let's go ahead and talk about the semifinal games. Just in case. I'm not sure when we're going to podcast again, either Thursday or Friday of this week. And if it is Friday, then one of the games would have happened already on Thursday night. So let's just go ahead and get to the games. Do the preview of them real quick, and then we'll get to the NFL where we'll talk about everything we want to talk about there. So, Thursday, January 8th, 7:30 p.m., you have number 6 Ole Miss playing number 10 Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. Miami is a 3.5-point favorite. How do you think this game goes?
Who are they playing again?
Ole Miss, Miami.
I think Ole Miss wins this game. I think it's a better built team.
I think Ole Miss I think Trinidad Chambliss, their quarterback, is awesome. He's a baller. whenever, again, this is something I want Julian Sand to have. When the bullets are flying, can you go out there and be a stone-faced killer assassin guy that can go out there and make the plays necessary when the play breaks down and make the play right? Trinidad Chambliss can do all that. Ole Miss's offense is awesome, and their defenses can't do anything, though. Like, their defense lets up a lot of points, but can Miami take advantage of that is my question. Because I do think Miami's defense is going to be able to get a few plays, and they're going to be able to slow down Ole Miss a little bit. But it's just, can Miami's offense, take advantage of the moment and go out there and score the way they need to against the Ole Miss defense? That is fine, but is not overpowering. They're not going to stop you from being able to run the football, and their secondary is not great either. So if Miami wants to let it rip a little bit offensively and let oh no, why am I forgetting his name? That's not good. The quarterback from Miami. Carson Beck. If they want to let Carson Beck go out there and actually throw the football around a little bit and get it to your playmakers, Malachi Toney being the main guy, I think there really is a real opportunity to do so. And I think I'm going to pick Miami to win this game just because I think that they could control the lines of scrimmage a lot more. Again, I've seen them do it to Ohio State. Ole Miss isn't near the team when it comes at the line of scrimmages that Ohio State is. So I think Miami is going to be able to control the game, run the football effectively. But it's just, if Ole Miss comes out there and just wants to have a back and forth type of game, I'm not sure if Miami can really keep up with that. And that's where my question does come in.
And I don't know. I don't watch college football. I saw more of the Ole Miss game. I did anything where Ole Miss was just a better team. And Ole Miss does outpace teams, which is what I think they're best at, is outpacing them. If we can keep going at this pace over and over and over again. I
wish Ryan Day would play like that again like he used to.
I agree.
So much hurry-up offense. We were scoring 40 points a game. I wish Ryan Day would go back to that.
I agree.
I almost wish he felt like every year that there was no defense, so he would have to put pedal to the metal. Because I feel like once Ryan Day realized, hey, I can have a really good defense.
I don't have to score. I don't have those.
Once he did that, he plays so conservatively.
I agree, but we're not talking about you. You got to eliminate it.
I know. Can I ask you one question?
That was sad.
Somebody said this, and it was perfect the way they put it. Every time Ohio State loses, it's because Ryan Day plays the way the other team wants him to play.
It's scripted. They know what he's going to do.
No, he falls for the trap. It's like the cheese in the trap. Every single time they make him think oh, you don't have to play fast. You could just play a slow game and win this out and not go balls to the wall offensively like you used to. And it's he falls for it every time. I just don't get it. Other than the Georgia game. The Georgia game back in 2021, it was pedal to the metal. That, I think Ryan Day did what he was supposed to do in that game. It just didn't work out because our kicker fucking sucked. But other than that, for all the other losses that Ryan Day has experienced is because he has played the game exactly how the other team would like him to do it. And that's the part that sucks about it. And I just wish, he would take a little bit like Ole Miss and go balls to the wall and try to score a lot of points. So you said you'll take Ole Miss?
Yeah, I'll take Ole Miss.
I'll take Miami. Again, I would more than be happy of Ole Miss winning because actually, honestly, I don't want neither of these teams to win the national championship, to be totally honest with you. One, because Ole Miss, the SEC thing like we talked about in the last pod. And then Miami, I think their fans are fair weather fans. If Miami is shit, their fans aren't going to show up to games. They don't care. But then as soon as Miami is good, they all want to show up like they've been here the whole time and act like how good Miami is. And I'm like, dude, you weren't here 5 years ago when Miami was total ass and not doing anything. They've had 2 10-win seasons in the past 20 years. None of y'all were here for none of that. Well, at least most of y'all weren't here for it. And you show up when things are good. So that's the part where I'm like, I don't want to hear Miami fans talk about how they've taken over college football when they don't deserve so. They don't deserve to. Well, the team does. Fans do not. Other game. Oregon, Indiana. Indiana is a 3.5-point favorite. Honestly, if I'm rooting for somebody to win a national title, either one of these teams I'd be fine with. If it's Indiana, Ohio State lost them in the Big Ten championship game and played a close game. If it's Oregon, we never played them in the first place, but I can respect Oregon as a team enough to be like, okay, fine, they're a good enough team. Dan Lanning's a good enough coach. I'm okay with either of these teams winning. And it stays in the Big Ten.
I don't don't think Mendoza's is that good.
He is nails. He'll make the right play. He'll hang on to the football. When it comes to any of like the Will Howard intangibles, the thing they were talking about Ohio State last year, when Will Howard was doing everything he was doing last year, during the playoff run, Mendoza's that guy. He's going to be the intangibles guy.
And that's great. Will Howard wasn't the first overall pick.
Oh, you're talking about when it comes to him being a first overall pick type of the guy.
Yeah. Will Howard was a 6th round pick.
7th.
6th.
7th.
Okay.
Shador was a 5th round pick, and then Will Howard was 7th. I'm very certain. Or maybe I'm crazy. Now that I think about it. Was it 6th? Oh no, that sucks. If I'm wrong on that, I'll take that.
It was a 6th round. But
6th round?
Yeah,
okay, my bad.
That's cool.
But no, Mendoza is being propped up to be the number 1 quarterback upcoming in this upcoming draft.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
It'll be on.
I'll be straight up with you. What is that, Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas has the opportunity to make that pick.
Because Mendoza's not number 1. He's not that good.
Because everybody talks about how big he is. He makes the right plays. He has a good enough arm.
That's great. Go pick a defensive lineman.
It doesn't have the look of me of number 1 overall pick.
No, in a way that I looked at Cam Ward and I'm like, yeah, he's the number 1 overall pick.
It's very obvious. Cam Ward, number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
CJ, when I was making the CJ comp, like CJ looks like a number 1 overall pick.
But here's the thing.
Bryce Young, if you fall for the flash, he at least showed you flash as a number 1 overall pick.
It's turning to work out. He's played fine. He's played good. He's played good football. They almost made the playoffs.
He had a game recently. He had 56 yards passing.
We don't have to talk about that. He almost made the playoffs. And the way up, I look at Mendoza, and Will Howard's a great comp for Mendoza. I don't really think he's that special. In a way that
not number 1 overall pick type of thing. They're saying the only other quarterback that may be of that caliber is like Dante Moore, the guy from Oregon, who is going to be playing this week for the Oregon Ducks. Like he maybe do that because he has more of the flash. He has the big arm. He has the accuracy. He can run around a little bit. Like it's just like to a certain extent, when you look at these players, you've watched enough college football, you can look at a player and be like, that looks like a 1st round draft pick, or even more insane, that looks like a 1st overall type of pick. And Joe Burrow, when he came out, instantly looked like that type of dude. And like just Mendoza, it almost feels like he's falling there based off default because there's going to be teams that need quarterbacks and there's not really a great quarterback coming out. It's going to be next year's draft where there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks that everybody's going to be looking forward to, a la Arch Manning, a la you're going to start talking about the why am I forgetting the other quarterbacks' names? Oh no. That sucks. I'm forgetting names now. But like next year's draft is supposed to be a lot bigger draft when it comes to having some real quarterbacks that have some real talent.
But I just think it's going to be funny. The Raiders are going to pick him number 1 overall, and he's not that good.
It's a possibility. I'm not going to sit here and like say for sure that's going to be the case because I do think Mendoza, every time he's seen with Indiana this year, every time you've seen him, he goes out there and plays nails. He makes the big throws when necessary. If you need him to slice you up, he can do that. I know. If you need him to run for it, he'll do he does.
I know.
He does all the little things.
But
he doesn't give you the flash.
With his comp being Will Howard, that's a great comp. I think Will Howard, at his best, is a starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. He is nothing special. He's I'm going to get you where you need to be. A good defense is what he needs to be backed by. He needs to be backed by a good defense. If you're cool with scoring 24 and winning a game 24-17, that's what you want from him.
Right, yeah.
If I'm a team like the Raiders, I need a guarantee this motherfucker is going to be the next coming of Tom fucking Brady.
Yeah.
If I'm picking a quarterback number 1 overall.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're going to pick him number 1 overall.
There's not seeming to be another option. If you're going to take a quarterback, there's not, again, Dante Moore might be the closest thing to that. But there's no guarantee he even comes out because there's like, who knows what decision is going to be made on that. I think he might because of all the quarterbacks coming out next year. But, I'm not going to try to make a guess either way. But Oregon, Indiana. Oregon, great defense. They run the football very well. Dante Moore, when you give him a chance to set his feet, read the defense, can make any throw on the football field. Short, long, he can throw a pretty deep ball. And as long as he doesn't make a lot of bad mistakes, which he can get stuck in a couple, like every once in a while, he did do that against Indiana in the first game where they played each other earlier on this year in Oregon. I think that defensively, their defense is absolutely insane. Their defensive line is awesome. Secondary, I think, can be got. They're a little bit smaller of a secondary. So I do think Indiana, with their bigger body wide receivers, can make some plays against them, which is what Indiana's very good at. When it comes to throwing the deep balls, back shoulders, like Indiana's very good at that this year. And again, these two teams played each other already, so I think both these teams are going to be very aware of what each other are good at. So I just do think this is going to be a game where the players will be the ones to decide the game. I don't think either one of these coaching staffs are going to be able to pull a rabbit out of the hat the other team has not seen before. So I think this is about players. On the Indiana side, I think Mendoza is probably the better quarterback when it comes to just being consistent and making the plays you need to. I think the Indiana's defense is very good. I think they stopped Oregon from being able to run the football last time. And what makes you think that's going to change now? I think Oregon actually lost a running back to a clavicle injury or something like that, so he's not going to be able to play in this game. Again, Oregon has multiple running backs. I think another one of their running backs actually went into the portal as they're getting ready for this game. Who knows if he's still going to play or not. But I just think, all in all, I think Indiana has shown before that, they manhandled Oregon the first time that they played, and that was in Eugene, Oregon, in their house. So the idea they can go into this game and having already seen what Oregon has as a punch, and I'm going to go Indiana to win this game. I think Kurt Cignetti has a little bit of voodoo magic in him right now to where he's really figuring stuff out, and he's doing what he has to do. So I'm going to take Indiana to win this game.
I agree. I was going to take Indiana to win this game regardless. I think Oregon's been mid all year.
Again, Oregon's been fine, but it's just with some of the injuries that they've had and the fact they've seen each other already before, they're not going to be able to surprise each other. So I do think Indiana is just going to be which team's going to be able to execute in the big moments when you absolutely need it. And I think Indiana has shown that all year, and Mendoza has shown that all year. When it's time to go out there and make some big plays and make some clutch plays, Indiana has definitely been the team that's been doing it a lot more often than Oregon has. So I'll take Indiana, so we'll just go ahead and win those games. Without further ado, let's go ahead and go on to the NFL. You want to talk about the coaches first? You want to talk about the games?
Let's do the coach carousel. The Arizona coach has been fired. The Raiders head coach has been fired. The Ravens head coach has been fired. I've only just now learned this. The only two I know are Pete Carroll and John Harbaugh. The Falcons head coach has been fired. The Falcons head coach and the GM have been fired.
Fired them both, yeah.
Good for them. Good decision.
Daboll for the Giants had already been fired earlier on this year.
Daboll had been fired.
Same with Callahan, the Tennessee Titans head coach.
Good. He needs gone too. I think that's it.
Raheem Morris for the Falcons.
Yes.
Kevin Stefanski for the Browns was fired, which I think they were stupid for firing him. I don't think he's that great of a head coach, but I think you're the Browns.
Who's going to want to come here?
So who wants to go coach the Browns?
Okay. Ooh, see, he's one that'll probably get a job pretty quickly.
Apparently, Stefanski's he's one of the better candidates out there because he can coach offense, and he's not really great with quarterbacks though. But otherwise, he knows how to.
The problem is he is more of an offensive head. He'd be great for the Ravens.
They've made their choice with Lamar. If he doesn't fit with Lamar, then it's not going to happen.
He didn't. I agree, but again,
he doesn't run an offense that Lamar would like anyway.
No. Oh, yeah, no. Mm-mm. But
no, sir.
I think firing him.
You're the Browns. Who the hell are you going to get? That's an obvious upgrade over him.
I agree. But he did have to go.
Okay. What about that team makes you think they should have been better?
Nothing. It's just okay. Here's what I think.
Should he have gotten more out of Shedeur?
Here's what I think is happening. They're keeping the GM.
But they're keeping the GM too. That's the part that sucks.
Here's what I think is happening. They're keeping the GM so that they can blame the Watson situation on Stefanski. They're going to put that all on him.
He was getting the massages and stuff well before he got there.
And the reason them bring him over, they're going to put that on Stefanski. Firing him doesn't make much sense to me. He brought you 2 back-to-back winning seasons. One of them was Joe Flacco, and the other, 12-5 with Joe Flacco.
He did not get them to 12 wins. What was that, last year? Joe Flacco was with the Browns last year, I believe. They weren't 12-5.
Maybe not 12-5.
They were like 7. They had like 6 or 7 wins.
My bad. 2023.
2 years ago.
Yes, they were 11-6. And then in 2020, he is when he started 11-5.
Yeah, they made the playoffs with Baker and they beat the Steelers in the first round.
Yes, and you lost the divisional.
So I just don't know where what. So here's my other thing. Whatever coach you have as an option to want to go take a coaching job somewhere, okay? How would you as an owner convince me as a head coach to take your job when it feels like every time you hire a new guy, there's no quarterback obviously there as an option. Shedeur is the best guy on the roster, and he looked terrible this year. I think we can both agree to that, right? Shedeur did not look good. He had a couple moments where it looked like he could be something.
Hell no, the Shedeur is dog shit.
He's bad.
He's dog
okay,
shit.
I'm trying to be nice because you were telling me I was being too. You told me I was being too mean,
dude.
Earlier this year,
I was watching him play, and I'm like, they were talking about how long he hasn't been on the field, and this motherfucker's on the field, and fucking, they get the ball first, throws an interception, and then that defense just fucking. Just tearing the bank with a new one.
I'm glad we can agree because you were telling me I was being too mean earlier on in the year.
No. Shedeur probably was. The Browns' offense was only on the field for 10 total minutes in the game. 10 or 15 total minutes. And he was dog shit for all those minutes, except for the last drive where they just got close to the field.
He will be an awesome backup.
He will be a great backup.
He will be an awesome backup for his whole career, and that is a very lucrative job to be a part of. If you could just be a good hang, be a good backup, carry the clipboard. When you get your opportunities, have to go out there and play. Don't make a lot of mistakes. But, he is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's just not. So, if you're not going to have a quarterback, whatever coach wants to come in and coach the Browns, you don't have a quarterback ready to go. You, you have Myles Garrett that just had the sack record. Your defense is fine. The defense is good. The defense is good. They have some real pieces. But here's the thing. Will they want to even hold on to those pieces? Because their cap is ass because they paid a quarterback a fully guaranteed contract to not even play.
Real quick, I ain't seen this thing in 2 years.
They're saying he's going to come back and try to play next
year.
For
what? You need to go look at him and be like, hey, fuck off. Go away.
They won't do it because that means they're just giving him money for free. That's the part. So I just don't know why they fired him because I just don't think they're going to be able to get a better option because no coach is going to look at that in their right mind is going to look at this job and be like, I can change them. They've been the Cleveland fucking Browns for the last 20-something years, and they've been ass. I don't think there's any coach out there that's going to look at this spot and be like
26 years.
26 years. Okay.
They came back in 2000.
So I just don't think there's going to be any coach out there that's going to look at this team and be like, I can be the one to change them. I just don't see it. And like you said, Stefanski, he will get hired pretty quickly by somebody. No question. Do you know where he might work?
Who?
Imagine what he could do with the Falcons.
A lot.
He knows how to use tight ends. Think about what he did with Njoku over these last 5 years.
Think about what he did with Harold Fannin this year.
Again,
he was a dog coming out of Bowling Green anyhow.
He was.
You
were talking about him pretty early last year. I have to give you that.
I wanted him so fucking bad. I'm like,
you were so locked in on him.
The Bengals would love tight ends. Draft Harold Fannin. Dude, he won. What was it? He won. every major MAC award, he won.
He was killing it.
It's just he was at Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when does the MAC, them being from a MAC school, stop mattering? I thought it stopped mattering when fucking Khalil Mack came out of Buffalo and was whooping on Ohio State during a fucking scrimmage where he was in the backfield. That boy was dogging y'all in the backfield. Now, y'all still went for like a shit ton of points.
Yeah.
This was a long time ago now. Y'all still fucked them up.
But you could tell he was on flashing on the field. Yeah.
And this is why he was a top 10 fucking pick.
Yeah.
He was a great game breaker. Harold Fenton was like a 3rd round pick.
New second round pick.
Yeah. You know what the Bengals did with that 2nd round pick? We drafted Brandon Knight. Oh, fuck. You know what we did with that 1st round pick? Drafted Shamar Stewart.
Yeah.
Harold Fenton would have made more sense of that fucking 1st round pick than Shamar Stewart would have. Apparently, okay, sorry. I will talk about the Bengals. Just 1 second. They put out a post saying, hey, we've signed 12 players from free agency or to a 1-year deal. And I'm like, who are those 12 players? Tell me right the fuck now who those 12 players are, and I'll tell you if they're worth a damn.
Let me guess. None of them were really worth a damn?
I don't know. There's no list. I would assume one of them's Osai.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's probably Murphy.
I think he's still under the contract.
No, 2020. He was drafted in 2020. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2021. So no, he's not.
Yeah, but they didn't draft him in the 1st round, or was it a 2nd round pick?
He was the 1st round pick.
Then you get the 5th year option.
He's not worth a 5th year option. We used Dax Hills apparently, because he should have been off the team this year, but we used his.
Yeah.
And then he got injured on the play that he gave up to Jared Judy for them to kick a field goal.
Speaking of Bengals decisions, you giving your coach?
Dude, coach and GM.
I don't get the GM part. Like, that's the part that
This nigga can't draft.
He can't draft.
If I'm the owner, I'm looking at the $23 million I gave Shamar Stewart and looking at the GM like,
what the fuck we doing?
I'm cheap.
What the fuck we doing?
He's ass.
Yes.
You're fired. Real quick, the fact that we drafted Shamar Stewart and he was dog shit by the 4th game, I'm looking at the GM like this. Hey, bro. He doesn't have a tackle yet. I'm going to pull up his stat line real quick.
I'm just looking at the guys that were drafted after him. Let's see. We're looking at like...
the DT you took at 19, who was a dog.
Derek Harmon, who was a dog. Let's see. Other defensive players. Oh, James Pierce Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons. He did very good for the Falcons this year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He got drafted at 26. Malachi Starks, another safety. That would have been nice to have another safety. He got drafted at 27 to the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
We got Maxwell Harrison, corner, got drafted to the Buffalo.
At 30.
At 30. He would have been a great pick. You guys definitely need some secondary help. Jihad Campbell, the linebacker out for Alabama. Again, you took Brandon Knight in the 2nd round. He was a great pick. But, like, though there were some real players taken after you took Shamar Stewart that were a lot more, that did a lot more as players than what Shamar Stewart did. So, no, I just don't, your GM keeping his job. Again, the GM coach, they both should be fired. No questions asked. Apparently, when it comes to Coach Taylor, they were saying that Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins all stood up for him and said they wanted to keep him. Why the fuck would you do that? Why would you do that? I just don't get. I don't get what the. I just don't know what the whole process is. Again, I know the owner doesn't want to spend extra money if he doesn't have to, but Taylor was on an expiring deal.
You know who was also very good? Who was drafted in the 2nd round?
What?
Mike Green from Marshall.
Oh yeah, to the Ravens. To the Ravens.
He had 4.
Again, he did have some issues that led to him being drafted in the 2nd round.
We watched fucking Joe Mixon beat the dog shit out of his girlfriend on CCTV. That's a second-round pick right there. An early second-round pick. He was like the third. He was like the. I think he was like the sixth pick off the board.
That's a fucking point.
I'm got nothing. Just saying.
I got nothing on that one.
You've seen the video.
I got nothing on that one.
You've seen it, bro. Yeah, Everybody's seen it. Everybody saw it.
Yeah.
He played another year at Oklahoma, ran for like 1,200. Bang was like, I can live with that.
Nobody asked any questions.
Nope, no questions asked.
Yeah, I got you. That's
Mike Green.
That's a point.
Also a linebacker, picked at 30, but 60 in the second round. Who was
made some plays the other night with the Ravens.
Who was if we're gonna be honest, was a first round talent that got drafted in the second round because of his issues. And the Ravens don't care about issues. They say Ray Lewis murdered somebody. The Ravens said, murder who?
Hasn't been proven.
Ray Rice beats people? What? He does that?
They did get rid of him. I'll give him that.
It took a while. It took like another 6 months.
Yep.
They waited till the season's finished. They didn't wait till the season finished and then got rid of him.
Yeah. They don't care about massages either.
They don't. We're winning football. But again, like, what the fuck? I understand and all. And whatever. No, I don't. This nigga sucks.
Like, imagine if you fired Zach Taylor, right? Imagine if you could have gotten a coach like the DC from Minnesota. Well, I don't know why I'm forgetting his name.
I don't know his name either. Yeah, I'm supposed to me.
Hold on. It's a big name too. DC for.
Ooh, Josiah Stewart, the Rams. He was good too.
Brian Flores. Imagine getting Brian Flores as a defensive head coach to then fix the defense and then be able to have Joe Burrow. Again, you're going to get an offense coordinator in there to run the offense, but it's a Joe Burrow offense. Let's be honest here. Imagine be able to get a guy like that can fix your defense while also still getting you better coaching. Zach Taylor is not a good fucking coach at all. I don't get it, man. I don't get it at all. And Stefanski's also an option that you could have gone. Raheem Morris, the guy who was fired from the Falcons, a defensive head coach. That would have been a great pickup for a team like the Bengals, who the defense is always the issue. Again, the defense got better throughout the year, but it's still nowhere near good enough for a team that like wants to get back to being a prominence with a quarterback that you have. Mm-hmm. But like, there's just so many different options you could have had that even if there's a chance that it could get worse, I don't think Zach Taylor is good enough for you to be like, oh, what if we can't get better than Zach Taylor? Like, you should not, like the Ravens, when they fired Harbaugh,
Jack Sawyer,
that's a real question.
Fourth round pick.
Yeah. Third round pick. Fourth. There you go.
Fourth round pick.
And he actually made some bones on the Steelers defense this year.
2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And 2 sacks.
Exactly.
My bad. Let me go back to the first round and look at Shamar Stewart's stat.
I just think that like when the Ravens fired Harbaugh, there was a real conversation to be had like, hey, who is going to be an upgrade over Harbaugh? The Bengals should not be having that fear with Zach Taylor. And like, can we get somebody better than him? Like, obviously you can get somebody better.
Can you take a guess how many solo tackles this nigga had?
20.
You're too high.
15.
You're too high.
10.
You're too high.
5.
5.
Oh.
5.
Bad. How many games did he play? Should I pull up Pro Football Reference? Make sure.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. He started in 8 games. 8. 8 games.
8 games played. Yeah.
8 games. He played 8 games.
8 games played and 5 games started. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's bad. Not good. Not good. It's awful.
4th round pick Jack Sawyer had 16.
Yeah.
And 2 interceptions. This nigga's ass.
Yeah, he wasn't even a starter. He was the 4th string guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. I just think for the Bengals in general, I just don't know what their whole thinking is behind any of their decisions when it comes to the GM or coach. I just think that I think they should have easily just like said, "Hey, I get it. They've put a lot of picks, draft picks, into defensive players, and not a lot of them have worked. That's the GM's job to make sure when you put these picks in for defensive players that they actually work out. And it's on the coach to make sure the team plays up to the standard on a year in, year out basis with your quarterback, without your quarterback, and he doesn't do his job all that well either. So I don't get the idea of keeping him. It doesn't make any sense.
For reference, Emeka Egbuka had 4 tackles. Just throwing that out.
Mike McDaniel for Miami, he hasn't been fired yet either. I think he's another one that's like, why hasn't he been fired yet? Like they don't believe. Again, he's a great offensive mind, but outside of that, their team isn't good. They don't believe in him as a head coach. The whole team is an absolute mess. They need a new quarterback. I'm like, this should be an easy point for them to try to hit the reset button on what that team is right now, and they haven't done that either. It's another team where I'm like, why haven't you fired your guy yet? Speaking back to guys that were fired, Pete Carroll for Vegas was fired. I don't know what, like, again, I think it was a miscalculation of everybody on that team thinking that team was going to be a lot better than what it was. Because that's like, why would you have taken, why am I forgetting running back's name? Genty. Why would you have taken Genty unless you felt like he was going to be the last piece of like you being a good team?
You needed so much more.
And you went and took Geno Smith as a bridge quarterback that's like a little bit older, but he's done it before, and he's like gives you a floor to a certain extent. Which again, that floor broke because he was ass this year in a way that he's never been that ass before.
Stop playing. You lying?
No, I'm saying he was much worse than he had ever been.
Nah, you don't remember Jets, man.
I'm talking about the new version of him, like after the Jets.
There is no after the Jets. It's just surviving.
I just think that all in all, that was a gross miscalculation in everybody involved. Again, somebody has to fall for it, so Pete Carroll was going to be the one. Tom Brady isn't going to be gone. He's still going to be there because he's a part owner. But like, I just think that all in all, that Vegas team was all around just straight up built for disaster. And maybe this is the perfect time because they can have the number 1 overall pick, maybe get your quarterback, and then have a new head coach to kind of build it all from the ground up.
Fault. Pete Carroll couldn't have predicted how bad Geno was about to be.
True, but I just also think that you just didn't. Even if Geno was great, they weren't going to have many more wins than what they had.
No.
So I'm just saying, like, you miscalculated how good this team was going to be. And again, Pete Carroll at 74 years old is not a guy that's sitting here like, hey, let's have a 5-year plan as to how to fix this team and get it back to prominence. That's just not. Again, he's a very young 70-something-year-old man. Like, he is very energetic for being as old as he is. But, like, just having a 5-year plan is not a great option for a guy of his age. So, again, it's just like you would have liked to. I don't know why he picked that job in the first place. I just don't know how. I never thought he was going to get another head coaching job in the first place. Maybe that's just something we should just consider a lucky thing that he still had the opportunity to do for one last time. I don't think he's going to get another job. I just think that Pete Carroll's time has passed. But a weird spot, a weird 1-year thing altogether. Jonathan Gannon, as you said, for the Arizona Cardinals, he had been there for 3 years? For the Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon? I totally forgot he had been there that long.
He was dog shit. He deserved to be fired.
He was ass.
He probably should not have kept his job for as long as he did.
I didn't notice he was there for 3 years. I don't know. Like, I think his record overall was 4-13 this year. They were 8-9 in 2024. Oh, they were 15-36 over 3 years. And I'm like, the Cardinals are not a bad team. Like, they're not over. Like, they have missing pieces, but the fact that they were as bad as they were this year with the talent they have on that roster, again, they're probably going to have to get rid of Kyler Murray. They probably have to get a different option, a different guy at quarterback. But they have some real bones of the team, and the fact that he hasn't been able to do all that well with the Cardinals, especially defensively, their defense hasn't been great.
It has not got.
And he's supposed to be a defensive guy, so it makes sense they got rid of him. Harbaugh, the Ravens, like I said, like we've kind of talked about before, it almost felt like they chose between Harbaugh and Lamar. It felt like him and Lamar weren't necessarily all of good terms throughout this last month or two. The injury situation with like Harbaugh saying he's good And then, or he's like saying, oh, we're just going to trust in Lamar, but not having a real answer about Lamar when he's missing all these games. On top of the fact that, like, it felt like his voice was getting stale in that organization. Again, I know this all too well with being a Steelers fan and having the same questions asked about Mike Tomlin. The difference is that the Ravens have a quarterback they can believe can be their future for the most part. He's still a relatively young guy in his NFL career. Even for the Steelers, we don't have that sort of guy to be able to kind of make that distinction, to make you think you could do more. And not to mention with Harbaugh being there and having, like, other than this one Super Bowl, they've had a lot of times where they've underachieved with the talent they have had on that roster. And at some point, you do have to put that on the coach for not getting the team where it needs to go. And I don't know. Again, like I said before, can the Ravens get an obvious upgrade over John Harbaugh is my question. Because let's be honest.
No, there's no shot.
We'll talk about the game, how that game ended in a minute, because I felt like once he lost that game, his job was gone.
Yeah.
You lose one player in your defense, and your defense goes from being pretty decent to being straight ass. Kyle Hamilton's awesome. But losing a safety should not be the difference between you having a relatively working defense to being totally awful.
Bro, you in the same boat.
We lost TJ Watt for 3 weeks, and we still managed to win games.
First year that's ever happened.
A defensive end is a higher level of need than a safety is. For a defensive end is a lot higher on the priority board than a safety. Again, Kyle Hamilton is awesome. I'm not saying anything against that. I'm just saying for a team of the Ravens' caliber that is known for their defense, the fact you lose one guy and your defense goes to complete ass is a problem. On top of the fact that you have been underperforming with Lamar having MVP seasons and not getting that far in the playoffs. So I just think all in all, especially if Lamar and him weren't necessarily on the same page in general, they were going to pick Lamar no matter what because he's their current timeline. And as long as you have him, you have a window that potentially can be open for a Super Bowl. But it's just that team was a lot worse. That team was a lot worse than what it was told to us that they were going to be coming into the year.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar was hurt for a decent amount of the time. Like all these things going against it. But I just think that I don't know. I just don't think Lamar, like John Harbaugh, was the reason that they were losing all these games, because I think that he's not the one making decisions when it comes to building the team. The Ravens and the Steelers are very much built alike when it comes to no one man has total control over everything. It is a very we organization. We're going to do this thing together. And the coach doesn't have too much control in any situation. So if the team is ass, I don't think that's John Harbaugh's fault necessarily. Well, I also think that if on the field they're not doing the things they need to do, I think you do need to blame that on him a little bit. But again, I just don't know if you're going to get an upgrade over what John Harbaugh was for that Ravens team. But again, you have to do it at some point. Again, as a Steelers fan, I know that at some point we're going to have to have Mike Tomlin not be there anymore and see if you can have a life outside of having that coach, because you haven't really gotten to where you want to go with him. So again, I admire the Ravens for being willing to try. Because I think the Steelers for so long have been getting the same voice out of Mike Tomlin and not necessarily getting different results. So maybe it's one of those things that if it works out, you're awesome. But if it doesn't, everybody's going to be questioning you and asking hey, why'd you get rid of such a good head coach? Because he's going to go get hired right away. Apparently the Giants are calling him. Again, the 6 other teams practically have called him, asking for him to be their coach.
Dude, you're right about the Browns. They're not getting an improvement over Stefanski. You were for sure fucking right.
I guess Harbaugh would be.
Yeah, but he's not. I don't want to go.
But he's not. But he's not an offensive guy. He was a special teams coordinator before he was head coach. So he's not an offensive or defensive guy.
Good team for the Giants.
Yeah, because you need an adult that can run the team and do what they need to do. Especially if you have a young quarterback, that's something he would be perfect for the Giants.
Yeah,
he'd be good for any of those jobs because he's just a grown man of a head coach.
Ravens for 20 years,
25 years. Well, let me see here. 14. Well, no, that was 14 years ago. He went to the Super Bowl. 18 years.
He won 2 Super Bowls.
1.
Damn.
He only has 1. Yeah, with the Joe Flacco year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I think about it this way. Tomlin's been at the Steelers longer and only has one Super Bowl.
How many Super Bowls does Big Ben have? 2?
He has 2. He had one with Cowher as the head coach, then one with Tomlin. So I don't know. I just see Harbaugh and Tomlin as like mirror images of each other. So I just think if one has to go, I think it's only destined that the other one will go sooner rather than later. But that's all the jobs. Okay, if you had to rank the jobs in order, if you had to go top 5 available coaching jobs, how would you rank them?
The best, the worst?
Best to worst.
Best, the Ravens.
Best be the Ravens. Okay, that's one. Let me give you the rest of the teams. Titans.
Yeah, my bad. I just pulled it up. The Falcons.
Falcons too. I agree.
Most ready-made offense.
Yeah, they have a lot of. They have their team, especially their defense. They won the last 4 games they played this year. By the way,
yes.
Again, Raheem Morris, real quick. Like they fired him because of the decision that they made 2 years ago when they gave Kirk Cousins all that money
and
then drafted a first-round quarterback that
fired him.
Dealing with a bunch of knee injuries, and then guess what? He gets
injury concerns, dude. Yes,
gets hurt, and then he wasn't really all that great before he got injured.
The Giants,
yeah. Giants 3, okay.
Would be next because there's nowhere to go but up.
They have a quarterback that you can believe in. They have a good defensive line. You're gonna get your receiver back. Like they have a way to kind of build. Yeah,
I'd say the Titans is next best, mostly just because you get full control. You can only build from here.
Would you rather be the Titans or Cardinals? I think the Titans have a quarterback,
which is why it's the Titans.
But the Cardinals have other pieces.
Yes, they don't have a quarterback, and they're not a top 5 pick. They're not a high enough pick to get a lock at quarterback. It's the Titans.
True. Okay, I agree with you.
The quarterback's the hardest piece to find. The Titans have found it.
Yeah, they have that. Yeah,
a lot easier to bring players in on free agency.
Yeah,
and you can draft a little more freely because now you're just drafting for everything.
True. I just think that
then it would be the Cardinals. The Cardinals would be next.
But imagine if they got like Kirk Cousins.
Who?
The Cardinals got to run their offense.
No. Shut the fuck up. They don't want a Kirk Cousins. They want to start over.
It's like a bridge guy because
he's not a bridge guy. I'm fleecing you for 120, and you can't trade my ass. No, not a bridge guy. He's a fuck you over your cap's hell now. No. The Cardinals is next. Then it's the Browns because at least they have an established defense. Then it's the Raiders.
You put them over the Raiders?
The Raiders have the most incompetent fucking front office.
They have the number 1 overall pick,
and they don't have a lock at quarterback.
They don't,
and they have no lock of Fernando Mendoza is going to be phenomenal. He has shown me nothing in college. That he is phenomenal. We started talking earlier. We can both agree. He has shown nothing, and he's phenomenal. He's the I can do everything right guy. Will Howard was a 6th-round pick, and Will Howard has more than Mendoza does. Will Howard's bigger. Will Howard has stereotypical size. Will Howard has a better fucking arm. 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
So, no, the Raiders are the worst. Y'all gave Geno how much?
They gave him like 30 million. No, they gave him more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me see.
He was getting paid a lot.
Geno Smith contract. 2 years, $75 million, with $66.5 million guaranteed. Yeah, they gave him a lot of money, for sure. Mm-hmm. Again, that comes off the books real quick, though. It was only a 2-year deal. But still, I get what you're saying. I just think that maybe the opportunity of building, because even if you don't fall in love with the quarterback, if there's some smuck of a team that falls in love with Fernando Mendoza and wants to give you a 1st-round pick and more, like you can set up a rebuild pretty quickly and then be good going into next year with a big quarterback class for you to have your options if you have multiple
off the top of your head,
picks.
Name their 2nd-round pick. The GM they kept, by the way, drafted these guys. Name their 2nd-round pick.
2nd-round pick for the Raiders?
Yes. Name their 2nd-round pick.
Was it a lineman?
No.
Who was it?
Jack Beck.
Tight end?
No.
Who was it?
They drafted a white wide receiver from TCU.
Oh.
You don't know who that is?
No, I don't. I have no idea what that is. A white wide receiver? That's where we're at?
Darian Porter was their 3rd round pick. Who the fuck is that?
Got nothing on that.
Can you name the receiver they drafted from Tennessee?
No clue.
I can't either. He only has 10 receptions for 135 yards. He has 17 drop passes.
Not good.
They didn't have a 5th round pick, thank God. So
can't even trust the GM to draft.
Your
either.
GM can't draft.
Okay. If they didn't fire him, then that is a problem because you now have a boss that you know can't even do the job right. So okay.
Oh, I found to do with less tackles than Shamar Stewart. It was the Raiders' 5th round pick.
5th round pick?
Mind you, they had 3. Why did the Raiders think it's a good idea to draft wide receivers?
I don't know. I have no clue for you. Brock Bowers worked though, but he's a tight end. Kind of cheating.
Brock Bowers was a lock.
Oh yeah, for sure. That kind of fell.
They drafted a receiver from Montana State.
Okay. Lots of L's. Lots of L's from when it comes to drafting.
Montana.
But Tom Brady's there though. He's a great owner.
Montana State. Montana State. What division of football do they play in?
I don't know. No clue.
I literally have never heard of Montana State.
I've heard of Montana State, but when it comes to football, I've never watched them play a game in my life.
They drafted a quarterback from North Dakota State.
That's worked before.
Carson Wentz? Are you dead ass?
He almost won an MVP. You could say that was a success story. He was one game away from winning MVP. Well, a couple games away.
I literally do not know.
He has a Super Bowl ring.
I literally do not know. Who the fuck is that? What high school team is that?
Montana State Bobcats.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Their logo does look like a creative team logo. I'm not gonna lie to you. Straight
that
off
looks
college
like
football.
Westville South's logo. That's worse than that.
That's wild. Tad bit disrespectful, but it is what it is.
Bro, who? He has
know.
Why does he have a job?
You're telling me the GM does not doing his job whatsoever.
Why was his best pick Ashton Genty? And he was dog ass.
Yeah. Again, Genty, I can't blame Genty for all of it.
His fault.
Genty's only problem is that he's not Saquon. He's not a generational running back. That's his problem. But he's a really good back. Yeah. He's just not Saquon. Okay, fine. There's a lot of running backs that aren't Saquon or Bijan. So, it is what it is. All right. So I think you've talked me into the...
Ted McMillan was 8. Colton Loveland was 10.
Yeah.
Michael Williams wasn't great. Dart was 25. And y'all took a running back.
Heck, I think the Raiders used the first round pick last year on not this past draft, but the draft before.
23?
No, 24.
Oh, I got you. Brock Bowers, no, 25. You meant 23.
Yeah, it was 23. On the defensive end that literally we've never seen do anything.
Tyree Wilson.
Haven't seen him do shit since they drafted him. It was like pick 7. Like they used a very high pick on him.
He has 12 total sacks. He was pick 7. You're right.
Bijan was pick 8. Jalen Carter was pick 9.
Right.
Lucas Van Ness, he's not amazing, but he was 13. This was a crazy defensive draft.
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez was 17.
Yeah, no question.
JSN was, oh my fuck.
Yeah, it was a crazy draft.
Damn, this was a trash ass receiver draft.
And there were some real dudes after that like, yeah.
Nolan Smith.
Yeah, for Philly.
Jalen Carter being at fucking...
At 9. Like,
9.
that would have been such an easy pick for them. Again.
Sean at fucking 8.
Right. There were some real dudes that I picked after, for sure. Will McDonald, the defensive end for the Jets. He's like their number one defensive end. He's very good. So...
Shit, Joey Porter Jr. was a second-round pick.
Technically a first-round pick, because there's only 31 picks in that first round.
B.J. Olajari?
Yeah, Ojulari.
His last name's
B.J. Ojulari. That's what it is. But yeah, I think you've convinced me that the Browns might be higher up than
Brian
the
Branch. These niggas suck. That is the worst job. The Browns are definitely a better job.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Because at least there's pieces to a team. Your GM's literally deficient. He is deficient.
I would say the GM for the Browns is not really all that but much better, but there are pieces there that you can at least be like, hey, there's something here. Unlike the
Browns took Mason Graham, and he's been pretty good.
And they do have two first-round picks this year.
The Browns can draft better.
Not quarterback.
No, but Carson Swishinger, 62.
Sure, swinger.
Yeah, 67 tackles.
No, he was
Junkins.
great. Before he broke his leg, it was pretty good.
Again, Quinshon Junkins.
No, for sure.
No, this nigga can draft. No. That GM knows ball. Not when it comes to quarterback, but every other position on the field, that man knows ball.
Yeah.
Harold Fanning Jr., 3rd round. That man knows ball. Not that well. He also drafted Dylan Gabriel. So not that well. He don't know that much ball. No. It still stands. Just don't let that man draft a quarterback. Dylan Sampson, again, was a good secondary guy.
When he got his chances, he played well, for sure.
Again, but he was better when he was on the 2 back. When he was the main back, he was trash.
And let's be honest, he was kind of taken over by this other running back called Rocket Sanders that they had on their roster.
Such a fire.
He got even more carries than Sampson did.
Bro. Thank God you're good at football. Because you don't have a sales job with the name Rocket.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think his name was Raheem, but I think Rocket was his nickname.
Sorry, bro. The Browns are better because at least I can say their GM can draft other things. Their GM can draft everything else.
Having a GM, if he's going to keep the GM is going to keep their job too, you do have to keep that in mind. So, no, I agree with you.
So the Browns are 6, but the Raiders are definitely 7.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the NFL games. Run through these because really there weren't that many great games on this slate. We're gonna kind of roll through these, not really take all that much time on them, hopefully, and we'll go from there. So, start with the Saturday games. Panthers Buccaneers was the first game on Saturday. Buccaneers won the game 16-14. This game sucked. It was awful. It got a little bit close there at the end because it was a little bit of back and forth. Carolina was able to come back and make the game a little bit closer, but Tampa Bay was able to hang on and win that game. But here's the thing. For all the fucking effort that they used to win that game, it didn't fucking matter because of the Falcons winning their game, sent it into a 3-way tie, and then because of the 3-way tie, the Carolina Panthers still won, got the nod to go to the playoffs over Tampa Bay. Might be one of the biggest collapses of a team that I can ever think of because they started the season. I think Tampa Bay started their season like 8-1, 2, 3, 4, 3-1, 5-1, 6-2, 7-2. They started their season 7-2. And they end the season at 8-9. So the idea that they spent all that time losing all these games.
They had bad injury timings, too.
They did, but I'm just sitting here like, it just fell apart so fast. And here's the thing, when they got Mike Evans back, when they got, who was the other wide receiver back?
Emeka?
No, not Emeka. Godwin. Yes, they got Godwin back. They had all 3 receivers, and they still were bad. Again, Baker did get an injury on his non-throwing shoulder, which is like one of those things because when you get an injury like that, it can impact you and everything that you want to do, but you're out there still playing. So when you're out there and not playing well, people are looking at you like, what's wrong? So I can get the idea that maybe the injury was an issue that he has to get over, and maybe once he's healthy, he'll play better. But the whole team fell apart. Their defense was absolutely atrocious this year, without a question. Their defense was ass throughout the year. So I don't know. Again, they didn't deserve to make the playoff. I don't think anybody in the NFC deserves to make NFC South.
No.
None of them deserve to make the playoffs. The fact that the Panthers get to host a playoff game.
Crazy, dude. Let me go be over there.
It should literally be a rule that if you're under 500 and win your division, you should not be able to host a playoff game.
There's years where there's 3 teams in a division that are above 500. And 2020 is a great example.
Man, because it's a good one this year.
All 3 of us just lost to each other. All 4 teams just had lost to each other. I think we all had split every game.
Well, standings. I'm about to look this up because I think there are teams that did not make the playoffs that had better records. Let's see here. Minnesota Vikings didn't make the playoffs. They're at 9-8. Detroit Lions didn't make the playoffs. They're at 9-8. You had think about it this way: the NFC West. There are 2 teams in that division that both won 12 games and that don't get to host a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle was 14-3. The Rams are 12-5, and San Fran was 12-5. And San Fran and LA don't get to host a playoff game, and the Panthers do. That's the part that sucks. If you're under 500, you win your division. You should not get to host a playoff game. That's again, it sucks. This keeps happening because it's always NFC South where this happens. It's pretty much that's been the division for the last 5-10 years or so. If there's an awful team coming in and that makes the playoffs, it's always the NFC South. But there's no reason the Panthers should be hosting a playoff game by any means. Next game, Seattle and the Niners. This game was not as fun as it was the first time.
Nope. It was not.
Seattle's defense totally dominated this game. They won 13-3. I just felt like San Fran, they had a couple guys they weren't playing in this game. Kittle got hurt and didn't really finish the game like he needed to. Christian McCaffrey, you could just tell he wasn't the same self. They felt like they were. Christian McCaffrey had played so well the game before. You can totally understand him not playing as well in this game. Again, the Seattle defense is awesome. And even with Sam Darnold not playing as well, he went 20 of 26 for 198. The Seattle defense is a defense that can really put you in a bad spot. And I just think San Fran was just not ready for this moment to be able to kind of win that game.
I agree.
And Brock Purdy, as great as he was the game before against the Bears, that was a dogfight where they played their hearts out, and it was a very hard-hitting game. Brock Purdy just kind of came back down to earth a little bit. He went 19 of 27, 127 yards, 0 touchdowns, and a pick. So I just think that these teams will probably see each other again in the playoffs for the most part. And I think it sucks the Niners do have to go and play Philly in the first round. Because I just think that the Niners, having the issues that they have on the offensive line when it comes to injuries and stuff, now you have to go face a ferocious Eagles defense. That's the part where I think the Niners kind of get screwed over in this scenario. But, it's one of those things. I just think that, again, going back to the fact that the Panthers get to host a playoff game in this scenario was insane. Next game, Falcons-Saints. Falcons won the game 19-17. Mr. Kirk Cochains had a good game. Pete had an okay game. 18 of 32, 180 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Didn't compare to Tyler Shuck, though. Can I ask you a question? Has Tyler Shuck showed you enough to where he can be he gets next year? I think I've been converted. I'm not going to lie to you. I was not a Tyler Shuck believer at all. But his last 4 or 5 games that he has played this year, I see something. I'm not sure if it's anything I could think can translate long term.
Yeah.
But I think he should have next year to figure it out.
The Saints pick at 8. So they're not high enough to get a quarterback. So I think they have no option.
But I feel good about Tyler Shuck.
Okay.
Really? You don't like? I didn't think I'd be the one more positive about Tyler Shough than you. Can I give you his last couple of games that he had?
Yeah, go ahead.
This last game against the Falcons, 23 of 35 for 259 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
Okay.
This was as a help because Tennessee's awful. Tennessee, he went 22 of 27 for 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. The game before that, again, they won 4 games in a row, and this was all while he was starting. Game before that, they played the Jets. Again, it's the Jets. 32 of 49 for 308 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, the game before that, they won 24 of 32 for 272 and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one I'll talk about, the 5th game, is at Tampa Bay. They won that game. He went 13 of 20 for 144 and 0 touchdowns and a pick. But I think that game he actually had 2 touchdowns rushing.
Okay.
Let me make sure I'm not crazy. He had 2 touchdowns rushing. He had 7 carries for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think I've seen enough. I think just give him next year. Again, they're not high enough to get a quarterback this year. But let him go figure it out next year. I think he can throw. And he can move. Like, he can actually run around a little bit.
Man's like 36.
He's like 26. As a rookie quarterback, that is old. I will totally agree with the fact that 26, 27 years old means that he may be at his ceiling as a quarterback. But I think where he's at right now, I think he is a starter in the NFL if he continues to at least improve and just play consistent football.
All right, bro.
Okay, I didn't think I'd be the one more positive about this. I really thought that you were about to be like, yeah, I totally agree. Okay, all right, fine. We're not going to agree at all times. Next game, Browns-Bengals. Browns win the game 20-18. Burrow does his thing. 29-39, 236, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Here's what I'll say. As much as I talk shit about Aaron Rodgers worrying about Myles Garrett all game, Joe Burrow was worried about it.
Yeah. Why the fuck wouldn't
Like, you could just tell every time Joe Burrow, like, there was a time where they put Myles Garrett on the other side of the offensive line that he's on the defensive line that he's never on. And Joe Burrow noticed and ran the opposite way, knowing that where he was coming from.
Shit, the one where he was running and he was like trying to find out a field and he looked over his shoulder and it was there. They
hate the Jets.
Dude, I was on Twitter, they zoomed on his face. This nigga went, he started booking it. He started booking that bitch. And as soon as Myles Garrett saw him start to book it, he slowed down.
They held on for so long. Like, I think
5 minutes left.
5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
And this nigga would not have had that fucking record. And I would have fucking swooned.
Oh, you're telling me I would have been more than happy to come on here and talk shit about Myles Garrett if he didn't get that sack record.
Again, the fact he didn't get it earlier, he's been at that fucking record for a while.
Yeah, for sure. So, like,
should have got that shit a little earlier. But again,
he got it.
He got it.
I think it was kind of given a little bit because I think Joe Burrow's kind of laid down, but, you know, he didn't even try to fight it.
Again, but the same should happen.
Again, he should have gotten it before. Like, the fact that he has been hanging on for 2 or 3 games without getting a sack, fine. He was going to get it anyway. I already had accepted that. But did you hear about all the players? Like, did you hear Jamar Chase and your favorite coach, Zach Taylor, complaining about the stoppage of the game when Myles Garrett got the sack? And they were like, why'd you stop the game when he broke the sack record? I'm like, I feel like you're an idiot if you knew that sack record was potentially going to get broken, and they weren't like
they were trying to keep tempo.
I get it, but you have to know going into that game that if he broke that record, they were going to have the standing ovation stopping of the game.
The problem, his biggest thing is what the refs didn't say that they were going to do that beforehand. He was like, they just kind of made a decision right then and there. And he was like, I told Joe not to come back to the sideline, and that we were just gonna go. It's the person that we had out there. And I was like, all right, cool. Again, if this is something they are told before, like in the NBA is a big one. When LeBron broke the record, they had talked about it because he was gonna do it in that game. They had talked about it beforehand. This was a spur of the moment decision. We're just gonna go. We're just gonna do it. And that's what he said. He said that the ref came up to him and said that they decided to stop. Not that we're gonna stop. In the opposite of like when TJ tied it, it looked like everybody was ready for it to stop.
Okay.
So I kind of understand, especially because there was 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
It just comes off as sour grapes.
I understand. There's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I'm going with tempo. I understand it's a big fucking moment, but we're trying to win this game. Like, I get it. If this happens in the first or second quarter, this nigga don't say shit. There's 5 minutes left. We're down by 2. We're down by a fucking touchdown. We're not exactly trying to stop right now.
Okay.
Again, this is a fourth quarter. There's 5 minutes left. They're going on tempo because we're trying to waste clock. You have now given them a free timeout.
Yeah.
And stop my clock.
I get that part. I think it just comes off as sour grapes. When I hear Jamar
There's
Chase,
5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You have now given them a free timeout.
Yeah.
Have fucked up our pacing because we proceeded to go 3 and out.
Yeah.
If he had said this and we won the game, you're just bitching. No, there's 5 minutes left. You fucked up our pacing because we had been tempo the entire drive. Fucked up the pacing, fucked up our drive. And none of this was discussed beforehand.
I'm not even saying this to down you because my team spent so much time trying to not give Myles Garrett a sack. We lost them last week.
Because of that.
But you had 3 quarters of not worrying about it to win that game.
Again.
Shedeur Sanders, 11 of 22 for 111 yards.
Again, this is something that, hey, why don't you tell us before the game starts, hey, if he breaks this record or even if he ties it, we're going to stop. It was would
that have been nice? I agree. It would have been nice to give that message out.
Hey, we're stopping if he gets that record. No, Zach Taylor verbatim said they just decided to stop.
Yeah.
He was like, there was no heads up. They just decided to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, it messed up our pace. He was like, but congratulations all to him. Yeah, it fucks up pacing. What do you mean? You mean sour grapes? It fucked up the tempo. It fucked up the tempo.
I'm just being a little contrarian right now. That's it.
No, it fucked up the tempo. I understand what he's upset about. Fuck you, Zach Taylor. But it did fuck up the tempo.
The only thing I don't get is when Jamar Chase talked about, if I ever get a record, they better stop for me. I'm like, yeah, Jamar Chase, if you break the single season wide receiver record, like receptions record, or when it comes to like yards, they're going to stop the game for you. I just feel like it was very obvious that was going to happen. I just don't think that necessarily needed to be. Would it have been nice to be communicated? Yes, but I just don't think if that record got broken after 30-something years, you would like, no, it hasn't been 30 years. It had been like 20 years. Broken. You would I just think that was going to happen. So I don't know. Again, the only reason you guys lost this game because you had multiple. What was there? A pick 6, and there was a fumble 6.
It was a tip pass, I believe, for a pick 6.
And then Noah Fant totally fumbled, and the Browns took the ball back.
Let that shit go.
He just totally fumbled it. Like, that was the only reason they lost this game because, like I said, Shedeur Sanders played like ass, 111 yards. They didn't run the football a lot. They literally did nothing offensively in this game, and it was just those 2 turnovers that you guys gave up for touchdowns that really allowed the Browns to win this game. But otherwise, Joe Burrow did great. You guys ran the football well. Chase Brown ran the football 72 yards. You guys ran the football for 142 yards total in this game. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins both had a touchdown in this game. Chase Brown had a couple touchdowns in this game. So I'm just like, you guys did what you're supposed to do other than those 2 mistakes, which kind of helped the Browns win the game. Again, I know about losing to a bad Browns team just from last week. So I'm not sitting here judging you by any means. I just think the complaining about it after the game came off as a little sour grapes a little bit. Next game, Vikings-Packers. J.J. McCarthy started this game, didn't even finish it. He had another injury to his right hand. He can't fucking finish a game. No. The Packers did not. They rested everybody.
You were talking about records, and it's crazy that the most receptions in a season, can you guess who it's set by?
Is it Jerry Rice? Or he has yards. He has yards in a year. I don't know who the receptions is.
It's crazy you don't know who it is.
Oh, it's JSN. He broke it this year.
It is not.
No, he's tailed off.
Mm-hmm.
For receptions in a year?
It's crazy you don't know who this is.
It wasn't Antonio Brown, was it?
No. Probably the first true start to your dynasty of receivers.
First true start to a dynasty of receivers?
I think he may have been a Brian Hartline receiver.
Not Scary Terry.
No, I'm pretty sure he had to have been a Brian Hartline receiver. Either he was or he was the year before.
Oh, yes, Michael Thomas for the Saints. He was not Brian Hartline before.
Yeah, but still, that's
he did. Yeah, he does have the record.
That's a crazy name to hear. It makes me sad.
But, he was actually at literally every Ohio State game the last 4 or 5 games.
Good for him. Good for him.
I'm happy he's back in the program. Kind of like just he's just around.
Sorry, it kind of makes me sad.
But yeah, Packers rested everybody. Jordan Love didn't play. Honestly, the Packers, they didn't care about winning this game whatsoever. They're already locked into the playoffs. It is what it is. Vikings, like I said, Jamie McCarthy was again ass in this game. 14 of 23 for 182. They asked him after this game whether he should go into next season being the presumptive starter. And then he starts it with, yeah, today I think so, but tomorrow it could be different. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm just like, don't answer that question. Because I don't think J.J. McCarthy's done anything to deserve any type of guarantee that job should be his going into next year. Because one thing, he's always hurt, and then the other thing, when you are playing, you're not even playing all that well. So I just don't know. The Vikings, if they can just get a quarterback, I think they can be a very good team. And it's just, again, I just think J.J. McCarthy picking him in the first round like they did was a huge mistake, unless he takes a huge step up in it when it comes to him being a player at the quarterback position in the NFL. Next game, Cowboys-Giants. Giants absolutely destroyed the Cowboys 34-17. Jackson Dart, 22 of 32, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. He played awesome in this game. Did everything he had to do. And they played very well. Tyrone Tracy, the running back, had over 100 yards in this game. Devin Singletary had a touchdown in this game. Dak Prescott wasn't good. 7 of 11. He ended up leaving this game after, I think, an injury. He ended up leaving this game, and Joe Milton came in and it wasn't an injury. They just pulled him because they were getting blown out. The fact that the Cowboys, did you ever think the Cowboys were good enough to make the playoffs at any point in this year? I didn't think so either, but they went on a little bit of a run, like with 3 or 4 games in the middle of the season.
Where I was like, oh, they're all right.
Their offense looked good, but their defense was still kind of garbage.
Dog shit. No, your defense was dog shit.
They fired their defense coordinator, by the way. So I'm just sitting there like, I don't know, man. This Cowboys team they have some real rebuilding to do. And with their owner, I just don't know if they'll ever truly get it right. I just don't know. Like they're just told. I'm not even going to say they have bad ownership, but it's just so inconsistent and so bizarre that I just don't think they'll ever really truly get it together. But the Giants, they have enough. And Jackson Dart made the one play where he got out of the sack and he threw like a little pitch to the tight end and ran all the way down the field. I just feel like plays like that is what shows that if he can like harness that talent that he has and just be a more consistent quarterback, I think Jackson Dart can be a real dude in the New York Giants uniform. Next game, Jags destroyed the Titans 41-7. They were playing this game if they won it. They were going to be locked in as the number 2 seed, I believe, in the AFC. No, 3 seed. And Trevor Lawrence, 22 of 30, 255, 3 touchdowns. They did exactly what they had to do. Trevor Lawrence has been on a heater as of recently, playing a lot of good football, and they did what they had to do. Again, if they lost this game, they could have lost the division and got taken away from getting a home game. So they definitely still had to go out there and try against the Titans team, and that's exactly what they did. They went and nuked them. Next game, Texans-Colts. I think they only had C.J. Stroud playing the first half because they realized that the Jaguars weren't going to lose that game against the Titans, so they pulled him. But until then, C.J. played fine, 14 of 23, 169, 1 touchdown, 0 picks. Riley Leonard, who came in and started for the Colts this game,
was decent.
21 of 34, 270, 2 touchdowns and a pick.
Decent.
Didn't play terrible. He ran the football very well, too.
Yep.
I think he had like a touchdown rushing at 3 carries, 21 yards. Jonathan Taylor did not do anything in this game. 14-26. Had to give you your credit. Against good defenses, he didn't really do all that well this year.
Oh.
Alec Pierce, 4 catches, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That is one thing, as good as I think this Houston defense is, they are susceptible to some big plays.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to nickel and dime down the field against this Houston defense, you're not going to. They're going to suffocate you. But if you can get some guys wide open, they are susceptible to big plays. So I think if the Steelers can make anything happen, it's going to be against them next week. It'll be getting some big plays down the field with DK. Because outside of that, you're not going to nickel and dime your way down the field against that defense.
You're not beating the Steelers.
Oh, we're not fucking beating them. Oh, no, I am not. I am not trying to say.
Start next week?
No break. Next week.
I forgot how quick the NFL moves compared to the college football.
Yeah, no doubt.
Football takes like a 2-week break.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Forgot, damn.
Yeah, the NFL, they're like, hey, we're just going to get the business here, guys. We're not going to go ahead and have any breaks here. But the Texans, it was a very close game, but the Texans still managed to come out and win the game. They were stuck at a 5 seed, so definitely as best as they could get. But the defense, again, the game was weird because the Colts were able to score as much as they did, but Texans did what they had to do. Bills-Jets. Bills won the game 35-8. This game didn't matter. Mitchell Trubisky was like the leading passer in this game, 22 of 29 for 259 yards and 4 touchdowns. So this Jets team is so bad, they made Mitchell Trubisky look good. And Josh Allen did play the first half because I think they were trying to give like one final goodbye because this is the last game in their current stadium before they go to the new one next year. So they did let Josh Allen come out and play a little bit, but for the most part, Mitchell Trubisky went out there and did what he had to do to win that game. And the Jets are just awful. So Bills went out there and did what they had to do and won that game. Next game, Lions-Bears. Lions won the game 19-16. This game was close. It felt like the Lions were like really controlling the game for the most part for the first half and really most of the second half until Chicago came back and scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. This is the thing about the Bears. I think they are a team that is a live dog when they are down. Because I just feel like when they are down, they've done it so many times. They've come back in so many games that they just know how to like kind of turn the switch on and like offensively and to score a lot of points if they need to. But I'm just not sure defensively for the Bears if they are going to be able to like really be able to achieve any dreams that they have this year because of how bad their defense is. And Jared Goff, 27 of 42, 331 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Jahmyr Gibbs had 19 carries, 80 yards. Montgomery had another 42. St. Brown, 11 carries, 11 catches, 139 yards. Jamison Williams had 74 off 6 catches. Khalif Raymond had 52. Jahmyr Gibbs had another 33 and a touchdown. I just think that the Lions got the win. They kind of got to play spoiler a little bit and kind of keep the Bears from having the number 2 overall seed. Now they're down to the number 3. And, but it's just overall, I just think that the Bears defense is going to be their undoing in the playoffs because I think offensively they're actually kind of good. And I think Caleb Williams has really found a groove. Even though I think he's still very inefficient, he doesn't really hit some open passes that should look easy for him. But I think their defense is definitely their biggest Achilles heel for that team. Next game, Broncos-Chargers. Broncos won the game 19-3. Chargers didn't play. Jay Herbo, they wanted him to rest. The game didn't matter to them. They played like it. It was a close game for a little bit, but the Broncos were able to kind of control it with their defense. Bo Nix was ass, by the way. 14 of 23 for 141 yards. The Broncos are good enough everywhere else to make me think that they are a real Super Bowl contender. But having Bo Nix as their quarterback is like the biggest subtractor of anything else they have because he is just so bad. He's so bad. I just don't know how they can like really go and like face a good football team and think they're going to win a football game. I just think he is just so inconsistent as a quarterback. I just don't know how you can rely on him in a big game. Raiders beat the Chiefs 14-12. No reason to go into that. It was an awful game. Rams beat the Cardinals 37-20. Matthew Stafford, he might have. I said a couple weeks ago I thought he might have lost the MVP based off how he played a couple weeks ago in that Panthers game, I believe. But I think overall totality of a season, I think he has played an awesome year. A lot of touchdowns. He has a lot of all the passing yardage. Like when it comes to stats, he's going to be awesome in that. Mm-hmm. And I think the Rams being at 12-5, Tyler Higbee had a great game, 91 yards and a touchdown. Puka Nacua, 10 catches, 76 yards and a touchdown. Parkinson, the other tight end, had 2 touchdowns. This Rams team, Arizona Cardinals team didn't have any chance to win. Again, it was like the first time where the Cardinals were able to score. It just wasn't at the same clip the Rams were, and they just could not finish off this football game. But the Rams, when they get rolling and they're good offensively, they're just a very hard team to
stop.
See
that catch by Puka?
Yeah. Insane. Like, again, when he's not doing stupid shit off the field, he's an insane talent on the football field.
Yeah, like,
he
he
is.
don't ruin his career off the field.
Just stay with football, my boy. Just stick with football and you're fine. But it's just anytime he talks or goes somewhere and he's out in the public eye, he says some stupid shit. Patriots, Dolphins. Patriots won 38-10. Game wasn't close. Drake May did they pulled him out early. This game was an absolute blowout. It wasn't close whatsoever. Ramondre Stevenson had a great game, though. 7 carries, 131 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think Travion also had another 2 touchdowns rushing himself. I think the Patriots, I think they are their defense isn't really all that good. They're not overpowering in any way.
But I think they have probably one of the better offenses in the AFC
I think Drake May is on a heater right now. I think he's playing very good football. My question is Drake May is not like playing at Josh Allen level right now. If he's not playing as like a top 5 quarterback,
neither is Josh Allen half the weeks.
Yes, but we've seen Josh Allen do it enough in the playoffs to where I can expect it to happen.
I've seen him lose in the playoffs.
If Drake May is not playing at a top 5 quarterback level in the NFL in the playoffs, I'm not sure if they can win these football games. That's the point I was trying to make. That's the only thing I question about this Patriots team. They have. Are they the number 1 seed?
No, they didn't get the number 1 overall seed.
No, because the Denver did.
Yes.
Patriots get. Let's see here. Patriots play Chargers.
Ooh, they're kicking the dog shit out of the Chargers.
I think they can, for sure. That's definitely an option, but it might be a close game.
The Chargers.
8 reseeds, so it depends. But they do not have to face the Bills. Based on where the Bills are at and where they're at, they wouldn't face the Bills until
the divisional.
The conference championship game. They wouldn't have to see the Bills at all.
Hey, real quick, let the Bills not make it to the conference championship game. This nigga Josh Allen is the worst.
I told Jake that if Josh Allen doesn't make a Super Bowl this year, he should be in a permanent depression. No Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar. They're not here.
Everyone else is not as tenured as you. You've been here.
The closest guys are Herbo and CJ. I think CJ actually has more playoff wins than
Lawrence
does.
He does. But that's the thing is you've made it to the second round, dude.
Has he been to a conference championship game?
No.
I thought he did last year.
No.
Oh no, yeah, because the Chiefs ended up going to face the Ravens in the conference championship game.
They got dropped off in the second round.
Yeah, second round.
He's never made it past second round.
But yeah, if he doesn't make Super Bowl this year, he should be in a real depression. Like
if he doesn't make the Super Bowl this year, I want to hear
to.
No one call him the second best quarterback in the NFL because he's fucking not. I need everyone to hear that. Because now I can almost guarantee there's 3 niggas better than you. Come playoff time, there's 3 motherfuckers better than you, guaranteed.
This is his spot. He is the best He is the best player in the AFC on the AFC side of the.
You were the
playoffs.
last quarterback standing.
He's it.
Dude,
by a landslide, he's the best player.
If
you don't make if you don't make the Super Bowl now, you have to answer some questions.
My God, who do they play first round?
Bills play. Oh, they play Trevor. Trevor and Jacksonville.
Understand me. You let this nigga Trevor Lawrence beat you in the first fucking round.
Yeah.
I will spaz. You will get a fucking phone call from not even. I will be here. I will just assimilate in front of you. I told you this nigga Josh Allen was garbage.
I know you're number 1. You're Josh Allen's number 1 hater for sure.
Fuck yeah, I am. I know a couple Bills fans
making phone calls. Yeah, I know.
I know where you work. Play me to not answer. Play me, I dare you. I'll be at your job.
fuck around with me. I dare you.
Yeah, if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, it's definitely a problem because he
If you
may
don't
not
make the AFC Conference Championship, dude. Even years where Bengals were not great, Joe Burrow was in the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
What
this
the
is your year.
fuck are you doing?
You're never gonna have a wide open year like this.
It's perfect.
Not again. You're not gonna have it again.
No shot you beat any of the 3 teams you probably will see. There's 3 teams that could make the Super Bowl from the NFC.
I think the NFC is like, I would favor 3 different teams from the NFC to win over anybody in the AFC.
What I just said. There's 3 teams that are probably make Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All three of those teams will dog walk the Bills.
Is it crazy that I'm thinking they're all from the same division?
Oh, what division are you thinking they're from?
The NFC West.
I agree.
The Rams, the Niners, the Seahawks.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And then I don't want to face that Eagles defense. That Eagles offense is mid, but that defense is scary. That defense is fucking scary.
Oh, they're back to being very good again. Yeah.
It was Christmas. I think it was Christmas. Maybe not Christmas. Maybe a couple days after Christmas.
That week, yeah.
I think it was that weekend, the 27th, watching the Cowboys play the Eagles. No, it was the Bills play the Eagles. The Bills did not play the Eagles. The Bills got beat up by the Eagles.
That wasn't Christmas. That was like it was like last week. Yeah.
27th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
They were fucking harassing Josh Allen.
Yeah, they were.
I watched, I think, a linebacker come up there, punch the ball out, and then they go steal that shit. They were fucking bullying.
That defense has figured it out again. Like they're scary.
But the offense is dog shit.
They're so bad.
But that defense was bullying him.
Yeah. But again, is their defense going to get back to a level where it doesn't even matter how bad their offense is? Like, it could get to that point. It really could. But again,
they're getting damn close.
But it's just
Jalen Carter is a monster of a fucking human.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
When he's not like assaulting people. Like on one play I saw him smack the dude in the helmet, choke him out. It was like a whole thing. It was straight up assault. Again, it's on a football field, so it's not really considered that. I agree. But he's not the cleanest player ever. But he's a monster. I totally agree.
He has all the talent and skill to back it up. I don't care.
True. Yeah. Speaking of the Eagles lost to the Commanders 17-24.
This is crazy.
Eagles literally rested all their starters.
Still.
They let Devontae Smith play for a little bit so he can get his 1,000 yards for the year. But other than that, they rested all their starters. You would think that they would have had a chance to get the number 2 overall seed and not have to see San Francisco in the first round if they would have just played their guys and beat the Commanders. But they didn't. I feel like if that's like a hindsight being 2020, dude, they would have loved to not have to see San Fran in the first round.
I've been thinking about the fucking trying to pick the playoff games for the NFC, and I'm sitting here thinking of the matchups. I'm like, it's gonna be really fucking hard.
Yeah, no doubt.
The AFC, I truly foresee a lot of these teams being dog walked.
Yeah,
there's a high chance the Steelers get dog walked.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
High chance that Houston offense is fucking ass. So that's a hard game to pick, but that's like the only one that's a hard game to pick.
Yeah.
Let y'all make it to the second round. How fucking tweak. I would laugh my ass off. Y'all make it to the second round.
There is a argument to be made if they make it past Houston. They could be a dangerous team. And I don't truly believe that, but I'm saying based off the other teams that would be left in the playoffs in the second round, because they wouldn't face a defense as good as Houston for the rest of the playoffs.
You will not face a defense as good as Houston unless you're playing the Super Bowl against Seattle or the Eagles.
And then again, I'm just talking about the AFC. We're not winning a Super Bowl. That's not fucking happening.
Nope.
But to make a Super Bowl, if you make it past Houston in the first round, you then wouldn't be worried about really any other.
Does this get tiring?
Defense. It really is.
Is it tiring?
Because
why the fuck is there an avenue for us to make it further than the second round?
Yeah.
Like, is this ever really is this tiring?
Yes,
I don't want to do this again.
I know what the season's going to end with me being disappointed. I'm just waiting for the day that it happens.
It'll either end in the first round this week or end in the second round.
It could have fucking happened the other day, and apparently the Ravens just couldn't finish the job.
Dude, that's the thing.
We're gonna get that in a second.
This is how I know this is fucking annoying. It should have ended.
It should have ended
3 days ago.
It should have been over.
It should have been over.
Yeah.
You should have been just sitting at home, chilling out,
watching the playoffs like a normal person. Now I have to be invested. I don't get to just make some bets and just have some fun watching football. I have to be actually invested.
There's a game I have to watch.
Yeah, no questions asked.
Real quick, I'm gonna bet on your team to win against Houston the first round. Just because I was talking to you about it during the podcast. I was like, your team's going to do it somehow. I was like, I'm not going to pick you guys, but you're going to do it somehow.
Well, we'll get to the Steelers-Ravens game now because it was the best game all weekend. Steelers won the game 26-24. This might have been the funniest game I have ever watched the Steelers play for the most part because the first half was an absolute slogfest. The Ravens were up 10-3 at the half. It felt like the Ravens because I think Derrick Henry had 100 yards in the first quarter. He was running the football. I think literally on the first play, he had like a 50-something yard run right off the bat. So it felt like, the Derrick Henry's just going to run the football and run all over us, and we're not going to be able to win this football game at all. But after that first half where they were able to kind of get the lead and kind of like look like they were going to take control, the Steelers were able to get the ball with like how many minutes? I forget, like 6 minutes left in the first half, and they managed to take the clock down, go down, and they scored the field goal, and they had a chance to go for a touchdown at the end of the half. They try to go for it, they get stuffed, and I'm like, oh, this is the game, it's over, and they have no chance to win this game. But in the second half, there was a one fluke play where Kyle Hamilton got hurt. He literally ran into his other safety. The two safeties ran into each other on a play. Kyle Hamilton gets knocked out of the game, and the Steelers' offense totally awakens, and they're a lot better. Aaron Rodgers starts getting some open reads in the middle of the field to Pat Freiermuth, to Adam Thielen, because you don't have such a great defender there. Because, again, for whatever reason, you lose Kyle Hamilton, that defense totally turned into real garbage, and Aaron Rodgers was able to take advantage of that. It also helped that the Ravens don't have much of a pass rush at all, and Aaron Rodgers was able to feel very comfortable back there. He was able to run the offense how he needed to, and he did what he had to do to win this game. We ran the football relatively well. I think Jaylen Warren, 14 carries, 66 yards. Aaron Rodgers had a 20-yard run in this game, which was pretty good. Kenneth Gainwell, 8 catches, 64 yards. Calvin Austin, 3 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. Again, that at the fourth quarter is when this game really heated up. It was, and I will say, Lamar Jackson had his Lamar Jackson moments in this game. He was like, the only blame I can give him is maybe in the middle of that game. I think there was like 11 minutes worth of game time where the Ravens didn't have the football at all. But so it did feel like the Ravens could have taken control and Lamar Jackson could have like really powered them to win this football game. But Lamar, 11 of 18 for 238, 3 touchdowns and a pick. And in that fourth quarter, he did have 2 wide open touchdowns to Zay Flowers. Like, he was butt naked open on both of those plays. I will say on one of them, Lamar managed to get out of a sack. Literally, it was TJ Watt and why am I forgetting the other? Alex Highsmith meeting at Lamar.
I did see that one.
And some fucking how Lamar was able to get out of that sack and throw the football to Zay Flowers down the field, butt naked open by himself to be able to go get the touchdown and win that game. And I mean, to take the lead. And then the Steelers will go down and score and then get the lead again. And then Baltimore gets the ball back. And literally in one play, Zay Flowers gets wide open somehow, gets lost in the defense. They lose him, and he's wide open. And they throw it to him on a touchdown to kind of give them the lead again with I think it was 2 minutes left. And then the Steelers got the ball back with no timeouts. There was a time where they were wasting all their timeouts for some reason because Aaron Rodgers was freaking out because the radio wasn't working in the helmets. But it really did feel like after that where I'm like, okay, we have no chance. And then the Steelers got the ball on the 40-yard line because their kicker kicked the ball out of bounds on the kickoff, which you can't do really do anymore. And then they managed to get down the field, and then on a play, Calvin Austin, he just hit that DB with a double move for the touchdown to take the lead.
Wasn't even good.
Huh?
Wasn't a great move.
Oh, for sure. And then the problem was with that, after that, you get the touchdown. I'm super excited. Again, coming into this game, I didn't think we were going to win, but as I was watching, I did get married to the idea of, as a fan of the teams that I'm a fan of, I never get to be the spoiler. I never get to be the underdog, right? As a Buckeyes fan, if they're losing, they're usually the team that was favored and all of that. So Ohio State will never be a spoiler to anybody, right? Same thing with the Yankees. The Bulls, I guess, could be a spoiler, but they're so ass, I just don't really give them a chance to do anything.
I'm going to a Bulls game.
But I'm just like, as a Steelers fan, in that moment, I got to be the spoiler to the Ravens. I got to be the reason that John Harbaugh gets fired in that game. I got to be a reason to see Derrick Henry, after that touchdown was scored, just like looking off into space, mouth slightly open, like, what the fuck just happened? So the idea that I got to have that funny moment was absolutely insane. And then an even funnier thing happened because the Ravens get the ball with like 50-something seconds left, 3 timeouts. They have too much time, and I'm like, oh, this is a problem. They're going to go right down the field and score and win this game, especially since we missed the extra point. As much as I love Chris Boswell, he hadn't missed an extra point all year long, and he picked that moment to miss an extra point. And that allowed the Steelers to only go up 2 instead of going up 3. So now, if the Ravens get down the field and hit the field goal, the game is over and they win, instead of tying it and going to overtime. So the Ravens get the ball back. They have a huge return. They get the ball at the 40-something yard line on the Ravens part of the field. So like they get a really good starting position, and literally within 3 plays, especially on the 4th down, Lamar Jackson throws a beautiful ball to Isaiah Likely to get it into field goal range with like 14 seconds left. I will say the one problem they had is they could have tried to run the football with Derrick Henry to kind of get the field goal to be a little bit closer. Instead, they decided to try to line up the field goal to be in the middle, and then made it from a 41-yard field goal to like a 44-yard field goal. But I'm like sitting here laughing. I'm like, all I could do was laugh because I'm like, well, this is the funniest game of all time. I had no expectations to actually win this game. I'm just glad it was a competitive and fun game because unlike last year where the Ravens literally blew our fucking doors off to end our season, I was just glad to have a competitive football game, and I was just laughing. But then the funniest thing ever happened, that kicker shanked that thing wide right, and he missed it, which is the funniest thing of all time. Harbaugh gets fired after this. Lamar Jackson there was a clip of Lamar Jackson ready to celebrate as the ball was in the air, and then he sees it miss, and he's like, oh shit, what just happened? And the fact that I got to see that stadium go insane, which a stadium we've both been in, which is totally electric when everybody is down and like everything's going well, to see that stadium go in, literally, it was like pandemonium in that stadium after that happened. And it was absolutely awesome to see, and it was at least fun because I have no quorums about the idea that the Steelers are going to go lose to Houston in that first playoff game next week on Monday night. I'm very close to certain that Houston wins that game. So I don't think we're going to have a long run in the playoffs. But I just think that was a very fun game, a very competitive game. And it was one of the funniest games I've ever watched in my life. Especially in that 4th quarter, was really going back and forth. And it could have gone either way. And I'm just like, there was like 3 different lead changes. It was insane. Very fun game to watch. Had a lot of fun. And I will say, Aaron Rodgers, as much as I did not feel good about this to start the season, in these last few weeks, he turned it on and he was able to play some good football and win the Steelers. Again, if he wasn't the quarterback of that game, the Steelers weren't going to win it.
I agree.
So the fact that he was able to kind of make that happen, I have to give him a lot of credit, especially without DK Metcalf. With all these like receivers that are like kind of like all number 2s, like none of them are actual number 1 guy. I'm not even sure any of them are actually number 2s. So like the fact of not having your number 1 weapon, DK Metcalf, because he was fucking around and touched a fan in the stands, like they managed to make it happen. Again, they lost last week to the Browns, and this game should not have mattered, but they put themselves in a bad spot. They got out of it, and they managed to win this game. I have to give them a lot of credit for that. So no matter how next week goes, I will at least be able to say I had some fun to end the season.
I guess, bro. I would have preferred this shit to end early.
Me too. I'm sitting here. That's the thing. I was talking about this weeks ago. I'm like, it's just my curse as a Steelers fan for them to keep winning games I don't want to win, to then get a worse draft position, and then lose in the 1st or 2nd round like they always do, and I have no chance to actually win the Super Bowl. It's like, what the fuck was all this for? But it is what it is. I like I said weeks ago, I'm like, why not just join the ride, have some fun along the way, and then deal with the fallout after it's all over, because the fallout will come. So, if the fallout comes for every team that doesn't win a Super Bowl in a given season. So I'll just be one of 31 other teams that don't get to end the season on a high note. So it is what it is, man. I said it is what it is. I had fun with this game, and it was a fun little time. So I'll totally take it. All right, that's all the games. Talked about all of it. Our records. I went 9-7 on the week. Jace went 10-6, with the one difference of the game being in the San Fran Seattle game. Jace picked Seattle. I picked San Fran. Overall, Jace beat me in the overall regular season standings. I went 157, 101. Jace went 166, 91-1. So Jace was able to take a very commanding lead throughout this season when it comes to picking games, and he did what he had to do. He stayed ahead. I could not make the right moves to catch back up, so it is what it is on that. We will reset it all and do it in the playoffs, and hopefully make some better picks. We will make our picks for those games on the next pod. I think we're going to do it on Friday. So that's all I got. You got anything else you want to talk about today, Jace?
Got nothing, bro.
All right, bro. We've went for close to 2 hours now. Like we always, actually 2 hours and 15 minutes. But it is what it is. So I thought it was going to be a lot shorter podcast. I'm not going to lie to you. Never is. All right, let's go ahead and end the pod. We'll see you guys. We'll end this now. So if you're listening for a while, we appreciate you. If you're just now joining on, hopefully you like us and enjoy us enough to join us on this ride of talking about sports in the dumbest way possible. If this is the first time listening to us, we're pretty much available on all audio platforms out there. So hopefully you can do a couple things for us. We'd appreciate if you could. Like our podcast, subscribe to the podcast, rate the podcast 5 stars wherever you listen to us. Make sure you share us, friends, family, enemies, anybody you feel like could enjoy the podcast we put out on a weekly basis, with it being 2 times per week during the football season. We'd love if you could do that. And then last but not least, if you can follow us on Twitter and or X, whatever you like to call it, at JB Sports Pod is the podcast handle. At Javante Boozer is my handle. At Jace Boozer1 is Jace's handle. Now I'll hand it over to Jace so we can finish off the pod.
It's been the JB Sports Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys.
Keep going. Thank you guys for always listening.
This has been the JB Sports Podcast. Thank you guys for listening today. Thank you guys for always listening. You guys have a nice day and a nice night. Goodbye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. See y'all in a couple days.